What's up, guys? Welcome back to Face the Movies. And if you are new here, welcome. I am the host of this channel, GC. And for tonight, we are doing Cinema Rewind, episode 5. We're taking you back to the early 90s to visit a phenomenal theme park. And it's not just any type of theme park. I'm going to give you guys a hint. There's dinosaurs. Yes, I am talking about the original dinosaur movie of all time, Jurassic Park. And tonight I've got quite a lineup. I got some co-hosts hanging out. You might recognize some of these guys, and if you don't, I don't know what type of YouTube you've been watching. But I want to go ahead and get started and introduce one of my friends, amazing podcaster, YouTuber, human being, and our own personal dinosaur expert. So this is Chris. Chris,
What's
up,
dude?
buddy?
Dude, that intro was so sweet, man. Thank you.
Oh man, of course. And guys, I mean, AKA the bearded booklet guy, AKA the bearded film guy. I mean,
Bearded dinosaur guy.
bearded dinosaur. Dude, that'd be another one. That would be amazing. But I'm so happy to have you on here. Chris was a last minute addition. I wanted him on here already, but as you guys have probably seen, like he's been busy with this kick-ass podcast and all the new content, him coming back to YouTube and all that good stuff. But Chris, tell everybody a little bit of where they're able to get a hold of you, man, where they're able to find you.
Yeah, so on Instagram, I go by Bearded Film Guy. I just post a whole bunch of physical media stuff. I'm on YouTube. I do like at this point, like once a month, these like watch vlogs where I kind of just sit down and talk about what I've been watching. And then I'm also one of the co-hosts on the Beyond the Blood podcast. It's a horror audio commentary podcast where we use audio commentaries to break down and dissect our favorite horror movies. And that's been incredible. Dude, we've only been doing that for 6 months, and it feels like we've been doing it for years, man. I'm super proud of that one.
Dude, I am proud of you guys, man, because like you guys have skyrocketed so quickly with that podcast. And I was fortunate enough to be able to be a guest on one of the episodes for the Giallos for Steven's birthday. And it was, dude, your organization, like the intro music, I mean, everything. When I heard that intro, I was like, dude, this is so damn cool. Like hearing the different like horror icons, and I'm just so happy to have you on here, dude. Who better to have on here than like a freaking number one Jurassic Park fan,
dude, my favorite of all time, man. I can't thank you enough for inviting me, man. I'm super stoked to be here,
dude. Hell yeah. And speaking of being stoked, we have somebody else on here just waiting behind the curtain, and I mean, you guys again might recognize him. I mean, he's been crushing it on YouTube. I mean, he's been pumping out content left and right, and he goes by, I mean, a few names, right? We got the number one American Pie fan, which is, he doesn't go by it, but he might as well. We got Brian, or you might know him as Last Movie Standing. So let's bring him on. What's up, dude?
You forgot the most hated YouTuber in physical media.
Oh, I don't know, man.
You did forget that. You did forget
that. Yeah.
I don't know about that. I know I've heard a few words about other people, so
yeah, I appreciate the intro. I'm glad to be here with you guys. You see B team come through for you.
The B team? No, this was the A team. It's just you guys are always busy crushing it over there. So I was like, I don't want to get rejected. Like, it sucks.
A team is late right now.
A team,
dude. So dead ass, right? And I would never say this, like, because I don't expect to be asked, to join a lot of things. But when I saw you announced this and I wasn't a part of it, I was a little salty. I was like, what'd I do to deserve this?
I was too. I was like, I just did a Jurassic Park video. What the hell, GC?
Dude, I'm telling you, like, I would have had you guys on here in a heartbeat. I would have had everybody, but it's just, I've gotten so used to people being so busy and with their scheduling that it's been kind of like, man, it's like, I know it's better to ask and get a no than to not ask at all. But sometimes you're like, damn, like, I don't want to make anybody like feel like bad if they can't make it or something and all that stuff. And it worked out. I mean, unfortunately, Jordan's not here. Last minute, he had a bit of an emergency. So like we lost Jordan, but then we got Chris and Brian, and Brian, dude, tell everybody where they could find you, man, and stuff you're working on.
Well, it won't be criterion.com. You won't find me there. I do have a video coming out called the what is it, the most pathetic Criterion collection on YouTube? Because I have like 4 Criterions.
It's funny.
Actually, I haven't posted a video in like a bunch. That's why I did the live this weekend, because the video I'm working on now is taking me 3 days to film, and it's already 5 hours long.
Dude, you should. I don't even think you deserve at that point to put Criterion in the title of the video. I think you should just title it like worst Barnes and Noble buyer video ever made.
We're supporter.
Oh, I don't go to Barnes and Noble. Are you kidding me? I'll order that off of Amazon and wait till the next day to get it.
But I feel like Criterion is in the physical media world so associated with Barnes and Noble. Like when I think Barnes and Noble, I automatically think Criterion. So
I'm going to be honest. I love going to brick and mortar stores. I really do. I do not like Barnes and Noble. I don't like searching through their stuff. I don't like finding their. And I'm always confused on their pricing with the 50% off, but it's marked up to like this price and save 30. I'm so confused on because I don't go there enough. So
I think they charge like MSRP and then they do 50% off of MSRP.
Yeah, no, I know like right now anything in 4K is like $20, but no, when it comes to Criterion, I mean the only one I'm stoked about is Barry Lyndon. I pre-ordered that, like boom.
Did you? My wife got a little haul for us. We got Sorcerer, we got Cure, which was one I heard a lot about, and then the third one that I wanted was God, how am I blanking? Oh, she wanted one called Afterlife that she saw on the Criterion closet, but I have a list that I have to go to Barnes & Noble. I'm just broke right now.
Me too, man. I just bought this OLED, which I'm watching Jurassic Park right now on. That's why I'm in this room, because my OLED's in my living room. So I'm like,
yeah,
I'm right here. What's going on, Jordan?
Dude,
miss you, buddy.
He's here in spirit with us. And speaking of which, we've got our prodigal son waiting behind the scenes. Just go ahead and bring this guy out. If you guys are not aware of Steven, I mean, I just want to say that some of the most beautiful and like convincing, compelling captions that I've seen on social media and YouTube has been from Steven, and he actually helped. He's been helping me I think it's the last 2 or 3 episodes now of Cinema Rewind where he's been helping make these captions. And I was like, dude, who needs ChatGPT when they have a friend like Steven? So let's bring out Steven from After Hours.
What's going on, guys?
Dude.
Oh, man, I made it.
You made it.
It's good to have you, brother.
Oh, God. But at what cost?
At what cost?
Yeah, no.
8 minutes, that's all it costs.
Oh, my God.
Hopefully the cost of a house.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, my God. What's going on, guys? How's everything?
Good.
Dude, going awesome, man. We're just talking about... we're doing a little talk about like Criterion and how Brian's collection is slowly getting smaller somehow.
Smaller?
No, because he was showing the other night, man. It was funny because we have like this inside joke, and I commented on his live stream, and I was like, "Show us your Criterions," and he's like, "Oh, cool," and he went and actually got them, and I was like, "No, that's not what I meant."
Yeah,
but he brings out like 4 or 5. Oh, wait a minute!
It's pathetic. No, the clip I'm using in my video is okay. If I made a joke, I'll just spoil the joke right now. But if I was like me trying to talk about Criterions, it's like Bill Paxton trying to sell a car. Do y'all get the reference?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, tell me Jordan's here.
Oh, hold on, guys, because we got Jordan was, if everybody knows in the thumbnail, he was supposed to be here, had to run out last minute emergency, but the guy was. This is the thing with Jordan. He figures it out, man. And I mean, if you don't know him by now, he's been killing it on YouTube, growing consistently. And you might know him as the Movie Den or just Jordan. And dude, are you kidding me?
What's up?
I can't stay long, but I wanted to at least jump in and say what's up, guys.
Jordan, you're sneakier than the raptors in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Listen, Jordan, I want you to know if you're in the kitchen chasing me, that's no reflection, bro. It's all me.
I'm going to use the ladle to see if I can find where's Chris?
The ladle. Dude, and speaking of so now that we're talking about Jurassic Park, we're already getting into it. Uh Man, what better way than to celebrate the new release of Jurassic World Rebirth that's coming out tomorrow than to get into the original Jurassic Park. I mean, for some it's the absolute favorite of all time, one of the best out of the franchise. But for others, obviously, we have different ones, different opinions. I've never met anybody that said that they didn't like Jurassic Park. So whoever doesn't like dinosaurs, it's like whoever doesn't like dogs, you can't trust them. But yeah, we're going back. We're taking this. We're rewinding the tape. We're going back in time, and we're going to talk about all the Jurassic Parks. But mainly focusing on the original.
Okay.
Guys, Jurassic Park. Let's go around the horn, and we'll start with Chris and work our way down. When was the first time you guys experienced watching Jurassic Park?
Honestly, too early to remember. This was the most played VHS, which I actually still have. Like this is still mine when I was a kid. This is the exact copy that I had since I was a kid.
That's sick.
And fun fact about this, I actually let my best friend borrow this, who I grew up with, who I'm still best friends with, and he gifted it. I left it at his house at some point in our childhood, and he gifted it to me a couple years ago back. So
Nice.
that's love and respect right there. Dude, when I was young, I mean, I was 3 when that came out. So clearly, I have to say it was probably 97 when I started watching it. Nothing else existed. Like, this was it. This was my whole world. I've seen this movie more than I'll ever see any movie for the rest of my life. Like, there will never be another movie that catches up for me. Genuinely, as a kid, so fun fact, don't make fun of me. When I was a kid and it would end, I actually used to cry. And then my mom would have to rewind the tape. And I was like, oh, wow, I can watch it again.
Dude, how did you
not over?
Dude, how did you not go into archaeology, man? Like, how did this movie not influence you into it?
I almost did, dude. If you ask my mom, there was a long point in my life where I wanted to be a paleontologist. I even had, when Jurassic Park 3 came out, there was a Dino Dex that they released with it. And I tore through that thing, man. And even now, every birthday of, like a niece or a nephew in my life in their early ages, they get something Jurassic Park from me. Every time, dude.
Oh, that's cool.
It's always something. And my wife knows when we go looking and she's like, oh, they have a Jurassic Park one. I'm like, well, that's it. Like, that deal is done. So I hope to spread my love for this franchise as far in my family as I can.
Dude, that's why I knew it was the right call to have you on here, man. I mean, are you kidding me? Like, you're probably, out of all of us, you're like the first one. You've definitely probably seen Jurassic Park way more than me, and I'm sure that tape at this point you're gonna have to get another one, because with the amount of times you've watched it, it's probably gonna pop.
Dude, it's funny, man, because people always talk about what movies mean to them and the impact that it has. And for me, if I'm in the right mood and you play the Jurassic Park soundtrack, I can literally, it brings tears to my eyes. There's like a nostalgia to it and a love to it, to me, that no other film has ever touched. And I can't really tell you why. I don't know what chord it hit when I was a kid that just connected, but I would not be on this stream. None of these movies would be behind me. I would do none of this without Jurassic Park. This is all because of Jurassic Park. So that's the legacy that movie has with me.
Dude, and before we go on to Brian, like, I do want to say that's the thing I think that not that many people understand about physical media, where they'll say, oh, you're wasting this much money on this, it's just a movie, this and that. But I mean, it's such an art that really, like, speaks to people and really influences, motivates. Like, it could definitely, the right movie, the right soundtrack could just completely change your tone for the day. And I mean, that's a perfect example right here why we need movies. We need this type of art. We need physical media, because with things like this, man, where you could just hold tangible and just be able to pop in, you're having a lousy day, it's raining outside, put on your favorite movie, and it's like literally a whole new world.
Dude, I always tell people, like, I don't have much from when I was a kid. And my childhood wasn't exactly one that I absolutely admired anyway, but to hold this and to have, like, this is on a display shelf in my living room right when you walk in, to have this as like a piece of my childhood is like You know how some people hold on to like memories of loved ones or like a watch somebody gave them. Like this is that to me.
Oh, and I'm sure when you hold something like this too, man, you're immediately, it's like instead of looking at a picture, you're getting all these like memories just flashing back, and childhood, Christmases, every Jurassic Park gift you ever had, and dude, that's awesome, man. I'm glad that it played such a big role for you. And Brian, man, like, what was your experience with Jurassic Park?
Man, I don't know how to follow that. Are you kidding me? Chris, I think, is the only one who actually has a Jurassic Park tattoo. Also, at all of us,
I have 2 of them.
He has 2 of them. I mean, Jurassic Park's always been in my life. I don't even remember how early it was when I saw this movie. I was definitely too young to see it in the theater. I was like 6 when this came out. Pretty sure I maybe seen the second one in theaters. The third one I remember the most because that was a big deal in my town when that opened, because we had a new movie theater that was opening, and that was the first movie, and they played Jurassic Park 3 in all 12 screens. So it's the only thing they played to open the theater. And I remember being in church. Like I remember that whole day. I remember going to church and being like, "Are we going to go see it today?" And going to the theater. But as far as Jurassic Park 1, I mean, it never gets old. You can watch it every freaking week, and you just never get tired of it. It's one of those movies that does not age at all. It's a perfect movie.
It's crazy, man, because you've seen the original 3. To some, they're the only 3 that exist, and you've seen them all in theaters, man. That's so freaking cool. Like I think I've only seen one and like the third one in theaters too.
You know what's funny though? All 3 of these originals, and I don't know about you guys, all 3 have a weird nostalgia with me in some way from when I was a kid. So clearly the first movie, The Lost World, was so nostalgic to me because of the lenticular on the front of the VHS.
Oh, yeah.
And then the third, Jurassic Park 3. I have the same. I didn't bring it. It's right in the other room.
Easy, Brian. Easy.
I didn't hold up my
Gonna get everyone worked up here.
I was told to bring them, so I got them.
I'm so nostalgic for the third one, believe it or not, because of that chrome silver cover that was on all the posters. Yeah, dude,
that's beautiful.
So it's so nostalgic to me. I don't know why.
Dude, they went way too hard with that Jurassic Park VHS covers, man. But dude, Jordan, man, like, you're here with us, brother. I'm gonna take advantage of like what was your experience like, man, with Jurassic Park?
Sorry, guys, I'm on my phone. I'll probably have to go after this, but I'll definitely answer this. My experience, well, it's something that I grew up with, and in a way similar to Chris. Not that it like, in fact, I could tell Chris. I mean, this is like changed his life. I loved it as a kid. I remember watching it. It's one of those that I think it feels like it was always there. It never wasn't there for me. But I loved it. I remember I always had the toys as a kid. I had this T-Rex, and I remember specifically it had like a closing jaw. And one time, funny story, we were watching it, and I decided I'm gonna take it, pretend it's real, and I went up to my grandfather, and I'm sorry, grandfather, passed away, but I apologize for this now. I was young. He had his finger, and I clamped it on the dinosaur, and I really tight. Dude, freaking made him bleed. It was the worst thing. But it's just a funny story I have. But yeah, Jurassic Park, man. I mean, even to this day, probably has, I think, one of the best soundtracks scores of any movie out there. John Williams is just a stud for that. And I think especially, yes, it means a lot to me, but also if we want to look at the technical aspect of it, for at its time, like the CGI holds up to this day. And I think the way they utilize the CGI, and I always talk about the first time you see the full T-Rex, it's very low lit, so it's hard to see any of the imperfections. So it really sells the T-Rex looking, crazy real. It just, everything about the movie, I think, is a perfect film. I kind of echo what Brian said on that one, but yeah, guys, love the movie. Yeah, it's a great film.
Dude, it's funny that you bring up the toys as well, because I don't know if you guys remember, we were all old enough for it too, but like when The Lost World came out, the toys that were coming out, like the Jeeps, like the double decker ones.
I had a couple Jeeps.
Dude, like how freaking cool was that? Man?
There's 3 of those Jeeps around us, like 3 recreations. So the 3 of them are the Jeep, and then somebody around us also has the Explorer, and it's probably one of them. But occasionally I'll see them in like our local mall parking lot, and I lose my mind every time.
That's cool.
Dude. Now we're gonna move on to last but definitely not least, Steven. What was your experience like, brother?
Man, I have a lot of love for this movie growing up. So the first 2 were movies I watched very heavily as a kid, and Jurassic Park actually was one of the first VHSs I ever had. And I feel like I attribute this, and I would say Jaws, because I saw that at an earlier age, but both of those movies for getting me, like, I would say, like, fringe into horror. Like, there's definitely horror elements to both films. I felt like eventually got me there. So I always have to give credit where credit's due. These were the films that basically defined me, and I don't know, ignited my love for movies. And I was already big into dinosaurs at the time, so it was like a perfect marriage of some of my favorite things: movies, dinosaurs, and just like the awe and spectacle that came with this movie. I mean, I'd never seen anything like that, so all these years later, I feel like this movie definitely holds up, and it's aged really well, compared to a lot of other movies I remember seeing back then.
Oh man, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like I could definitely agree that these Jurassic Park movies, compared to any other franchise, you just watch it and it's almost like it's like a wine, right? It gets better and better with age. I mean the practical effects, I mean, like dude, out of this world. My experience with this movie as well, it's like with the first one I remember I watched it with my grandfather, and it was such a blast. I remember I was so young and just looking at it and I was like, man, like this is real. Like this is, it's one of the first movies besides like Independence Day that I saw that I remember vividly just obsessing over as well. And then when they were playing it on TV, like on Stars and those type of channels, like I was just watching it religiously. But it wasn't until The Lost World where I just absolutely lost it and literally like collecting the toys and all that stuff. And man, these movies will always have a soft spot in my heart, and it's one of those I could put on at any time and just even play in the background, not have any issues whatsoever.
For sure.
And we have somebody on here that's actually saying that there's a movie better. It says Maverick 77 Defender says The Valley of Gwangi from 1969 is better than Jurassic Park. I've never seen that movie. So
Never heard of it.
I don't know about that. I don't know what it is.
Why does it sound like it could be a Criterion for some reason?
It probably is. I have a question, mainly for Chris. Did when you were a kid, did the scene where what's the dinosaur that spits the tar? Did that scare you as a kid?
Nothing really scared me from this. It's funny because I remember learning early on that that they didn't actually spit. Like I learned early on that was a creative decision to make. The scariest scene for me in this, it was always the very beginning, the delivery of the raptor to the island.
Oh God.
Oh yeah.
It's so and you don't really know what's going on, and it automatically asserts how intelligent they are. The fact that she rams the back of it to knock it backwards away from the cage. That way it gives her just enough room. And then it was it's the shoot her that gets echoed over and over as the scene kind of like fades into, and that scene to me, even still to this day, is like a little, every single time I watch it, my love for animals as well also gets upset when they start zapping her through the side of the cage. But that was always the scariest scene to me.
Yeah, that intro, it's phenomenal.
The kitchen scene with the raptors.
Yeah,
the kitchen scene. Even to me, actually, the moment when the grandkids are eating the buffet, like they're eating the Jello, and you see the raptor head shadow, or like the
silhouette in the back.
The silhouette come up. There's no total scenes that were scary. There were like these little moments, but I'll be honest with you guys, whole franchise wide, nothing beats the tall grass from the Lost World. That by and far is the scariest scene to me in this whole.
Dude, being hunted like that, like just imagine it's like dark out and you're just all you hear is the sound of death literally coming at you and you can't even see it.
Well,
I don't know. That first scene, I think it's in Lost World where the little tiny dinosaurs,
the Gallimima,
on the beach with the girl.
Yeah,
that's scary.
That's pretty freaky. I remember the scene where when the T-Rex comes back to the mainland, it's going throughout like the city, going through like the suburbs or whatever. I don't know why, like in the scope of thing on rewatch, like it's really not that scary. But I remember as a kid, that terrified the shit out of me because I'm like, well, now they're not just solely trapped on the island at this point. Like this means they could potentially get me in my own home.
Baby Steven's looking out his bedroom window,
waiting for the dog to get snatched.
He's terrified. Yep.
Dude, there was always
that scene freaked me out.
That scene in the Lost World always got me because I was a kid watching that, and then believe it or not, too, the same scene in Transformers when they call for the rest of the Autobots to come, and the Autobot lands in the backyard. And stands up in the pool, and a little girl comes out.
And it's got the same, the parents don't believe them, and then they get there, and then it's like
what happened to our pool? What happened? For some reason, those scenes, I guess because they're from that child perspective out the window, where
Spielberg produced that one too.
Yeah, great, man.
Transformers?
Yes. Spielberg produced them.
Dude, I had no idea.
Wasn't it the first three?
He's probably executive on all of them, but the first three with Michael Bay with like the main three, Spielberg was more heavily involved in.
Because they were they under DreamWorks?
Yep.
Yeah, which is Spielberg's company.
Didn't he like make the final call on having to cut Megan Fox? I remember reading something about that.
Maybe. I don't remember the whole drama with that. I remember there was drama, and I remember what it was, but I don't think she wanted to come back or something. I don't know.
Hey guys, real quick, I just want to say I gotta go. I gotta head out. But
buddy.
Jordan, before you go, buddy, if you want to let anybody know where to find you got anything going on? Any shout outs or anything?
No, nothing too crazy. Find me at the Movie Den on Instagram and YouTube. And then try to do a bunch of lives all the time. So keep an eye out for that. We have some really cool stuff coming up. I know some of you guys know what it is. I can't wait for it, so just keep an eye out for that, and just come check me out over at YouTube. I try to post as much as I can, and go follow all these guys too. They're all awesome,
dude. Especially if coming back, like we need you to come back. Well, you're definitely coming back for the next 2 episodes, so can't wait. Especially next week.
Yeah, dude, it'll be fun.
Awesome, buddy. Well, dude, good luck, man. And we'll talk to you later.
Dude.
See you, Jordan.
Later.
I remember the good times.
At
least he got to hop on. That's cool,
Dude, that was awesome, man. I was not expecting that. I mean, the turnout tonight, like, are you kidding me? We literally have a full house, like full panel here, man, which is so awesome.
It was a little bit of a roller coaster because I was like, I think it might just be me and GC.
Oh, Steven was so surprised when I was like, I sent him the thumbnail and he's like, Chris is on.
I know. I was like, even better.
Yeah.
Well, when he hit me up about, I was like, I don't know. I looked over at my wife and I was like, I have an opportunity to go on a stream at 9 to talk about Jurassic Park. She's like, go ahead. I'm like, okay.
What better way, dude? I mean, like that's an automatic yes.
A kid, I came in the room with a whole bunch of Jurassic Park stuff, like a little child, like excited to show off my toy collection. I was like, oh,
yeah. That's how I knew I was. And this is one thing too, that part of this episode, we're gonna get to the point where everybody gets to show off some of their Jurassic Park stuff or all their Jurassic Park stuff. And you guys in the comments, I mean, obviously, like, let us know what you have in your collection as well. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, this is to pay tribute to one of the best franchises out there. And just to celebrate Jurassic Park, celebrate the new release. I mean, the fact that we're getting so many movies. I know Jeff here, which, by the way, buddy, I know you said hi earlier. What's up, man?
Yeah, what's up, everyone?
What's up, Jeff?
What's up?
Jeff, Steven, who else is in here right now?
We got Maverick, 77th Defender. I don't know who that is.
What's up, Maverick?
Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Movie Odyssey we have on here.
So Stephen from the Movie Odyssey was asking, we need to discuss why Jurassic Park has everything going on for this film and how it stands the test of time
You did.
and why it separates itself from the rest of the franchise. What does that mean for you guys?
Man,
What does this movie mean to you?
Jurassic Park, I mean, it's dude, I mean, it's one to me it's literally the first live action dinosaur movie I've ever seen, because before it was always like the cartoons and stuff growing up.
Mhm.
And till this day it's always been the best dinosaur movie for me. And then as far as how it separates itself from the rest, I mean, there's so many iconic scenes in this film, and the fact that of all the Jurassic Park movies, like this is probably to me one of the darkest ones, in the sense of it being like they were literally trying to scare the crap out of you compared to as the other ones progressed. I feel like it became a little bit more
How
family.
big can the dinosaur get?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And this one, it was always like very dark, very scary. Like it's just you're constantly like anxious between either the raptors. I mean, like what we talked about, what Chris mentioned, that opening scene alone, you're already anxious and you're hearing this freaking creature like clawing somebody. And also the fact that not only was this like animatronics and stuff like that, it was just not much heavily reliant on CGI, but the fact the sounds, right? I don't know if anybody knows this. I'm sure you guys probably do, but with with the T-Rex, how they used, I think it was a koala. It was the sounds of koala, and I never knew that. And that is insane.
Didn't they did like an overlap of like multiple sounds? I saw that video and I was like, what in the actual fuck? Like you know what I mean? It's like the creativity that somebody has to have to come up with that idea was I don't know. It's just incredible.
And now that the T-Rex roar is so iconic, people who've never even seen the movie know that sound. You know,
it's like
and
the Wilhelm scream, or the
it's never changed.
Whatever.
Yeah. I mean, for me as a kid, it's the wonder. I mean, I think the biggest thing when we were kids was the wonder of seeing like a dinosaur, you know, and this was the most, at the time, the most realistic depiction we had. But what was funny about it is when I got older and I matured and, you know, began thinking for myself and all, and I would say it was probably like mid-20s, I watched this movie and I started to understand the commentary of it about the science, about the consequences. And some of my favorite scenes have become the scenes I didn't understand. I was a kid, like with Ellie and John Hammond after everything happens, the ice cream scene when he talks about the flea circus and, you know, that, or when Malcolm's going on about rape of the natural world. Like that's the stuff I understand now. And what was once like, the T-Rex is the villain, the Velociraptor is the villain, has now changed. And I'm like, the humans are the worst to me. And that evolution happened as I got older. And the other movies, while still good, there isn't a movie in this franchise I don't like besides Dominion that can go fuck itself. But everything else, it doesn't have that magic. Even Spielberg doing The Lost World, it doesn't have that magic. It's missing some piece in the recipe that's throwing the flavor off, you know. And it's like, it's the first movie is like, yeah, there are dinosaurs and they're wonderful, but so are the characters, so is the setting, so is the magic, so is the storytelling. Everything else just went for dinosaurs.
The characters are so iconic, especially in the first one. Like they're all interesting in their own way.
Yeah. And how did you, I don't understand how they ruined them in Dominion. Like every character in Jurassic World Dominion became the worst part of themselves. Like none of them. Ellie Sadler went from being an incredibly tough female character to like,
she was the most cringy part of that whole movie.
Yeah, Malcolm went from this intelligent, you know, chaotician to this like humorous, you know, like they completely just got it all wrong, man. A complete misunderstanding.
I will say, and I won't defend Dominion at all, but first time I saw Dominion, absolutely hated it. Hated it. Second time I watched it, I didn't hate it as much. It's not a great movie. It is the worst out of the franchise, but it's one I can put on the background, and it's a Jurassic Park movie. You know, so can't completely trash the movie, but I agree. It's the whole the whole Lotus thing, and then the whole yeah, she is the worst. Like, how do you get her being a badass in the first one? Even in the third one, when she's just a mom and not doing anything, she's more of a badass than she is in this. And that whole forced kiss at the end was it was so cringeworthy.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but it just sounds like they did a disservice to a lot of the legacy characters that they brought back.
The biggest missed opportunity in the whole franchise, especially that one, I feel like, is they brought this new black girl in, but they didn't make it Jeff Goldblum's daughter. I feel like if they would have made it Jeff Goldblum's daughter, it would have been a lot better. I'm like, you have that sitting right there. Why don't y'all use that? Do y'all watch the old movies? Like,
well, one thing about writing great characters is like you don't have to use the drama in their life as drama for the movie. So like in Jurassic Park, there's this great ongoing bit about how he doesn't want kids. Alan Grant doesn't want kids. And that's already that already exists. And the movie just rides with it. So all of these characters feel real. You see Malcolm, you see the way he acts, and then when he says that he's always looking for a future ex Mrs. Malcolm, you just believe it because the character was already established, and without even putting it together, you're like, oh yeah, I believe that. Like I don't even question it. Like, yeah, sure, that's the guy he seems like. You know, when Richard Attenborough talks about the flea circus, you're like, I see that in this guy. Like all the characters feel real right from the jump. So none of the reveals of their character feel surprising or there for the sake of dramatic. You know what I mean?
Not to mention too, you know, the character Dr. Ian Malcolm. I mean, I am convinced that's Jeff Goldblum in real life. That's absolutely him. I mean, it's just like Jeff Goldblum is just one of those actors, man, that anything he plays, he's like, he always kind of plays himself too, but it's just funny, like they cast him perfectly. And I mean, the philosophy behind these original movies, right? Because in the new ones, it's still the philosophy of, you know, should we, can we? And then it gets to the point where it kind of loses that, and it's just more of, we made a mistake and now we're kind of screwed. Well, let's try to fix it. But I think that's one of the appeals from the original movies where, you know, throughout the first two at least, I mean, the third one did have philosophical implementations as well. Like when he takes, I forget his name, but Dr. Grant's assistant takes the egg. It's one of those two where it's like, you don't mess with Mother Nature. Like, was it worth risking their lives over money type situations?
In his lucky pack.
In his lucky pack. But then the fact of that redemption where he sacrifices himself for the greater good and for his people. Like that's such a awesome character arc. But yeah, like the first and second is just, I mean, even in the second one, like I'll say, which we could jump to that right now. Because I wanted to ask everybody what their favorite characters were. For me, I will have to say for this, I mean, obviously Ian Malcolm's been a big favorite character of mine due to like the way he thinks, and he's always living in the state of chaos. But the hunter, the main hunter from the Lost World, where he just wants the pure hunt of the T-Rex, but he doesn't want to use anything fancy. He just wants to take it back to like that caveman style almost, where it's about like he honors it, he respects it, and he wants to do it in the purest way possible. Like he doesn't care about the money. He's just like, this is all that I want.
He always reminds me of the guy from Jumanji who comes back.
Who
comes back as the hunter. He always reminds me of him.
It's like when when the first dart hits the T-Rex, when he shoots him, you're just waiting for him to go like, damn. Like he does Jumanji.
But yeah, those are, I mean, I gotta say, those are my two favorite characters in the franchise. And I mean, as for you, Chris, like let's go around the horn. Like what's your favorite characters?
Well, I mean, the first one, it's Alan Grant. There's just something to I always love a character that's quiet and always seems to sit back and think, you know, like I love in that lunch scene when he finally steps in, decides to say something, and he's not on John's side. There's just something to, and I always love his growth of a character with the kids. You know what I mean? And I always like, dude, like, look at it. Like, come on, this is the best character trait of his, is carrying this. And I love when he throws it
Hold on, let's
as well.
Yeah, you need a spotlight this.
let me see how I could spotlight.
Yeah, my wife got me this.
Nice.
Oh, here we go.
No,
Nope.
nope, wrong one.
Oh,
Well, I like that Blink-182 shirt.
There you go.
thanks, dude. I'm trying to figure out how to do the spotlight here. That's
All
the
right,
one
you
thing.
could see it.
Yeah.
There you go. But yeah,
That's
it's
so cool.
very detailed. It's very hard. So yeah,
There we go. Dude, that's so damn cool. Do you just like
Damn it.
I'd have it in my pocket all the time, dude. Like
I wish.
I'd be at work just like there freaking
That's what I was about to say. Chris brings it with him to work.
That's it. Like I picked it up and I was doing this to my wife earlier.
Where'd you get that from, man? Like
I don't know where she got it from.
that is
We've had it for years now. One day though, I feel like I have to complete the circle and I have to be very high up in a tree and I have to throw it down. You know.
that's so cool.
But no, Alan Grant's always been my favorite. In Lost World, believe it or not, it's actually Vince Vaughn's character. One, because he's a photographer, which is dope, and he's a film. Well, then it was film, so it's a film photography, which I appreciate. But I also love like how quick he was to go help and cut the locks off all the dinosaur paddocks. But then he has my favorite moment of that movie when they're trying to fix the baby T-Rex's leg, and she goes, he's chewing gum and he goes, spit, and then he spits on her hand, and she goes, "No, you're gum," and then he spits and he doesn't say nothing. It's just a weird little moment. Yeah, those are two of my favorites. I mean, Ian Malcolm's great. Has anybody read the books?
No.
Yeah, I believe the first one. That's what I was actually going to ask you guys about that.
Yeah. The Lost World is my favorite of the two novelizations, but I have to say I like the characters better how they're written in the movie than the books. But if you haven't read the books, then that's a hard conversation to have.
Dude. What about you, Stephen? What are your favorite characters?
I mean, I'll be honest, I just did a rewatch of the first one, and I haven't watched the sequels in some time, but I would have to go with, of course, Dr. Ian Malcolm. I just think that I think what I like about him so much is he's very charismatic, very witty. I always felt like he was like the voice of reason with what was, how things were playing out in the movie. Felt like he represented like the moral compass, kind of like we obviously know that this park is a terrible idea, but he's very upfront about it from the get-go with like his philosophies on it. And I always felt like he kind of like he bridges everything from science and philosophy. Like it was kind of like that in between with how he views things and everything that's going on in the park. And I don't know. I just like Jeff Goldblum. I guess that also helps too.
He can never do wrong by me, man. Like,
No,
he's just awesome.
He just seems like a down to earth dude, and
Yeah.
I agree with you. I feel like that this role was like an extension of probably what he is most likely like in real life, if I had to guess. So
is he the most quotable character in this?
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Because the amount of times in a given week I'll say that's one big pile of shit. Or like, Ivan Love when he's when everybody leaves him to go see the Triceratops, and he's like now I'm in the car talking to myself. He's like no.
He really, it's funny, man. Like I felt like so as I got older, like now at my age of being 38, it's where I actually feel like I could relate to him on so many levels, because the guy's just like very like random, and sometimes he's just like they're having this peaceful conversation about something, and then he's here thinking about like, but what about if this happens? And it's like, dude, they were just talking about ice cream or something. Like it's just he's one of those at the party.
So I have to admit this, because as many times as I've seen Jurassic Park, it wasn't until I met my wife did she point out that in the helicopter during his introduction, there's a really quick moment where he squeezes John Hammond's knee. Like,
oh yeah.
he reaches over and squeezes his knee, and John Hammond kind of like pushes him. I never noticed.
I don't think
until
I
my
never
wife
noticed
pointed
that
it out.
either.
Yeah,
Dude,
he like slowly reaches over and like pinches his knee, and John Hammond pushes him off.
He's like, I'm not interested. You're too. I'm too old for you.
Just a little character moment that I love. You know.
What about you, Brian? Which was your favorite character?
Honestly, I'm gonna go completely up the spectrum here. My favorite one is definitely Laura Dern, obviously.
Okay.
I love her whole like. I mean, it's 2025, and it would be way worse today. I mean, we've seen that with a lot of the modern Jurassic Park movies. But when she wants to go out to, be a badass, and John Hammond's like, maybe I should do it because we'll deal with gender politics later, and she just went out and did it. But
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe I just like looking at her on screen. I don't know.
Yeah.
She's one of my favorites.
What did she say? We can discuss sexism and survival situations.
Survival skills later.
Right?
Yeah. I really like. I mean, I even like the fat dude who
Dennis.
Yeah, I don't like him.
He's talking to the dinosaur. He's like,
talking
good little
to it.
dinosaur.
He's like, you're not so big.
No wonder you're extinct.
Yeah. when he tries to play fetch. Oh my god, yeah.
I just saw. I don't know if you guys saw it. My Erica sent me a meme, and it's from Seinfeld.
Oh
and
man,
it's Jerry saying like, oh my god, what's his name? Who's the neighbor?
Newman.
Kramer.
Oh, Kramer.
No.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
And it shows Dennis. It shows Dennis pulling the DNA samples out of the blue thing, and it cuts back to Kramer, and he's all blue. He's like, it's Dennis. He let all the dinosaurs loose.
I also love like the first introduction of him, and he takes the whipped cream that's not really, and he puts it on it's shaving cream, but he puts it on the pie, and I'm just like, is somebody really gonna eat that? Because that's not whipped cream.
That's dude. And he was so giddy. Like I love how he just the whole time the guy's telling him like the money and all this stuff, and he hands him the envelope, and he's just giggling like crazy, and just like this guy's like won the lottery.
He sounds like the dinosaur, like the Dilophosaurus.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
Speaking of that scene, though, that's probably the worst writing I've ever seen with bringing back to Dominion, bringing that one character back to be the villain which is a completely different character. Mm-hmm. He goes from this because you see him, he's all excited with the little thing, and he goes, look, it does this. By the time we get to Dominion, he's this Steve Jobs, like he has no sense of humor kind of person. I'm like, that's the worst writing I've ever seen.
Yeah, these movies just sound like they get worse. Like, you guys aren't selling me on any of these movies.
Dominion's not the best. Honestly, Lost World. I mean, Fallen Kingdom took me a few tries to really appreciate.
Which I'm sure we'll get to that, but I've always been a rabid defender of Fallen Kingdom.
I think Fallen Kingdom is really good, but it wasn't like it knocked me off my socks the first time.
Yeah. No, The Lost World to me, man, I always, even when I was a kid, loved, and I have the all three of the original soundtracks that are remastered and expanded from La La Land Records. The Lost World is my favorite John Williams score ever. I mean, it still has hints of the original Jurassic World tone in it, but it's so unique. And The Lost World, to me, always felt so much like more textured. Like all the scenes are so different from one another. I mean, if you want to talk about the gymnastic, that scene's whatever. But like, even when they're all surviving and the T-Rex invades the camp at night, and you have that incredible shot of the T-Rex coming up with the tent. You have that. You have oh my god, what's that actor's name that shocks the Gallimimus with the thing?
The Russian guy, the guy who plays. I always go straight to Constantine. He plays the devil in Constantine.
Yeah,
I
always go to isn't that the guy from Bad Boys 2?
Yep, the Russian Grim Reaper is here.
Yeah,
that guy.
Then you have the gymnastic scene, and then the San Francisco scene with the T-Rex. No matter, I don't care what anybody says. The moment the T-Rex busts out of the carrier ship, it's incredible, man. All of that is there's so much, like, it feels like every 15 minutes in The Lost World, you're in a slightly different movie than the one before.
I will say, in my favorite one of my favorite characters in that, I don't know his name. I always found him funny, but like the bald head guy.
Oh yeah. Eddie, I remember
Eddie. Yeah. Normal. He goes, he goes, technology and thing, don't do that. Like, don't mix well together. And he's like, and he's asking him, what will this do? It's like, don't do that. You know, the tranquilizer darts. He goes, you'll get or he says something. And he goes, don't do that. You know, I just loved his like. He just seemed. I don't know.
I love when he's like, it's a high hide. It goes high and you hide and
yeah.
He was one of those characters too that it's hard to forget because, I mean, one of the most noble characters. Like, dude, the guy sacrifices himself. Like, he's surrounded by 2 T-Rex. It's raining. Like, he could have not been in a worse situation. I mean, I like it was like shit.
The best about that scene though is it cuts to so after he ties off.
Yeah.
And he's pulling it back. It cuts to him, and he's just got his arm like up on the window thing, and he's going woo, woo, trying to pull it up, and he looks so relaxed.
He probably knew. He was like, I'm done.
Kind of goes down when he's like, why'd Hammond send 2 teams? He's like, it's like his voice goes down when he says it.
By the way, does anybody know this answer? Like, Movie Odyssey was saying, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Lost World?
Yeah, I believe that's right. Yep.
Okay.
There's a lot of interesting like Spielberg history among these. Like we
almost didn't even get this movie because he was making this and Schindler's List at the exact same time. He had to go film the worst stuff in the world imaginable during the day and come home and edit a family, approve edits for a family friendly, and he was like, he didn't know how to get back, switch those mindsets where he almost just threw Jurassic Park out the window because he couldn't deal with doing both dramatically different subject matters at the same time.
Well, he almost passed Jurassic Park onto Roman Polanski when he got one of the copies of the script, one of the earlier drafts. He had agreed to do Schindler's List, but he had, I think, 5 years to produce it. So he didn't think he would have time to make Jurassic Park. And he recommended Roman Polanski to do it. But this was after Roman Polanski was accused of sexual assault and like fled to Europe.
Oh boy.
Because he found out that he was going to have charges pressed on him. So there's an interesting little story there that not many people have been able to like really figure out fully, but just thought that was a fun little fact.
There's also something about this first one. There was a documentary or some YouTube thing I saw that was actually pretty sad that this movie, so the guy who was originally supposed to do all the effects, they were all supposed to be stop motion.
Phil Tippett.
Yeah. And, he had them all ready and everything. And then he found out kind of at the last minute they were switching to, CGI. Granted, they used his models in the CGI reference and everything, but it was kind of this heartbreaking, like, death. Like, that was his realization that what he did for all these years with stop motion was basically dead.
Yeah. He talks about how that was the moment that he realized that he was extinct.
He was, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. And just hearing him say that was like, damn.
That's pretty deep, man. Like that.
Mm-hmm. Because that whole raptor scene, I mean, they were going to build it practically like the real T-Rex, but the whole, like, when they see the whatever they are in the field for the first time and they're running that full CGI scene, that was all supposed to be like stop motion.
Oh, that was the Gallimimus.
Yeah. And I mean, you got to think about it. 1993, it still would have looked amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was the first test scene that ILM brought forward when they were like, look what we can do. And it was, I think it was the Gallimimus galloping. And that's when they realized that they could. But it's funny because, the Lost World being 4 years later, it's kept so much of what made the original great. Like you have in the, I don't know what that thing is in the trailer, the big extendo RV. You have the CGI T-Rex, both T-Rexes on the outside, but then they built those practical ones for the scenes when it comes down in front of the window. And I will never forget the moment as a kid when the one comes down and then the camera follows Vince Vaughn as they look over and then another one comes down. I just remember being like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Not good.
Do y'all think Spielberg felt like some kind of like challenge with that, with the whole, we're going to do another prosthetic of a giant monster in the water after his experience with Bruce and Jaws and it didn't work. And he's like, we're going to do the T-Rex, but we're going to do it in water again.
I'm sure he got flashbacks. Like, I'm sure he was like PTSD the whole time. He's like, oh god,
He's like, please
not
work.
again.
Please work.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you guys. Wait, Chris, you said you've read the books, right?
Mm-hmm.
So was it in Lost World where they had in the opening part of the book there was like the baby snatching scenes that took place with the raptors?
Mm-hmm.
That's always something that, like, in hindsight, I don't know how you would have effectively done it, but it would have been cool to incorporate that into the movie somehow.
Dude, the books are dark.
It's scary as fuck.
And it was really exciting to me to find out that Rebirth was going to do the raft scene from the first book. Even though I've already seen the full scene in the fucking trailer.
I heard about that. Yeah, I heard people talking that was like a big thing for them with that raft thing that was cut out of the book.
Yeah. And the books, Michael Crichton was such an interesting writer because he was very passionate about the science. So there are stretches of both of those books where there's so much science that you kind of have to thumb through it because there's no way that you understand what the hell is happening. But then he uses the characters' dialogue and discussion to help you they give you kind of like a cliff notes, to kind of help you out with it so you get it. But I remember always reading them being like, I feel so dumb for not understanding this.
Yeah.
There's something about that. I mean, this is on subject and off subject, but with science talk, like one of my favorite subgenres of movies is like political movies, Washington, all that stuff. I'm not political in any means, but the lingo, the jargon, the stuff that they talk about, I don't know half of what they're talking about, but it interests me for some reason. So, and the same with science, like, the problem with science, especially if you get to more science fiction, you get actors who just start spilling out nonsense. They don't even know what they're talking about. But at least with Jurassic Park, it's grounded in more realism, and they hold it back, the crazy jargon. Because I haven't read the books, but I can imagine even if it was in the movie, they would have found a way to maybe even explain. I mean, that was the whole DNA scene,
Yeah. Well, the movie does a really good job of simplifying it to like layman's terms. I mean, it's very easy to, and then even too, when you think about how it happened, like how they use the frog DNA, but frogs are, were they asexual? So they can change biologically, they can change sex. Like the movie, you'd have to really not be paying attention to not understand the science. It's very big. Hey, they're missing DNA. We extract that missing DNA and then we complete it using frog DNA. They simplify it very good. The book does not do that.
It goes into equations and stuff, and you're just like, what the hell is this? I just want to hear about dinosaurs.
I didn't bring it, but I actually have a rare, it's right in the other room I could grab, but I have a really rare first print of The Lost World. That was the movie tie-in hardcover. It's like one of my prized.
Well, we're gonna have to see it. You can't just bring it up.
Chris.
I'm gonna get it.
I've had to hold back on my going crazy with Jurassic Parks, like I have with American Pie and stuff. Just they have one VHS that I used to see all the time. I haven't seen it in a while, but I just have the the one disc of the first one, but they have the 2 tape one. And I haven't got the 2 tape.
Oh hell yeah!
Oh nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful,
dude. That looks pristine. I bet you wear white gloves when you read it. You're like,
I actually never read, and this is my favorite little bit of it. In here. Let me see if I can. First of all, this is back when hardcovers were $14. Wow, now they're like $100.
I was about to say it's definitely not the case anymore.
First of all, the back,
dude, that's sick, man.
Is that did you say it's a lenticular in the back?
No, it's not a lenticular.
The way you moved it with the light was
so here, I love this in the front. Let me see if I can.
You need to get that autographed, man. With the island.
That's nice.
Beautiful.
That's sick.
Yeah, this was a really hard. This took me almost years to find. It was always I could find all the other copies. Let's see. Yeah, first edition print in 1995. Yeah. So very excited about it.
How often do you reread it?
I haven't read them in a couple of years. I think the last time I read the first one was probably like 6 or 7 years ago. I think I reread it when Jurassic World came out, but Lost World is the one I've read more, just because the Lost World book is incredibly different than the movie. Like, it's the biggest difference. So that's all.
Dude, that's awesome.
Jeff from John Doe Juggalo is giving me major like nostalgia flashbacks. I didn't know this existed, but apparently like on PlayStation 5 they're like they redid like all the games, like the old school games and everything, the collection. I'm like flipping, I'm like, oh, I remember.
Can I show you guys something very
show us all?
I'd be offended if you didn't.
Yeah, don't ask, go get.
Like we're talking Jurassic Park, man. You throw on here whatever you want. Like
he's probably the only one out of us who's got like the vinyls and
oh, I'm sure, like posters, like the toys. Probably
grab a vinyl?
So check this out. Ready?
Oh
so
my god, let me.
This was gifted to me from a friend.
Protective sleeve on it still and everything.
This is a Jurassic Park vinyl.
Told you.
Right? But hold on. So
I love that artwork. I've never seen that artwork.
It's not the John Williams score. It's the video game scores. Like the original NES.
No way.
Like, ready for this? I'll show you.
Do you have any laser discs of Jurassic Park?
Oh, that's so cool.
And it actually has on the inside the track list. Hold on, let me open. Is the breakdown of when they are in the games.
That's incredible.
Dude, and this thing is like, I've listened to this a couple of times already, and they have this thing called a walk in the park. It's like a observable history of the games.
Gosh.
Yeah, I love this thing. But it's not, how do I explain this? Because he explained to me. This isn't an official release. This is like a mod. Like somebody made this.
Really?
Yeah, somebody actually made this, and it was very rare. I'd have to text my friend to find out how many were printed, but these are like, you have like 5 minutes to get your hands on one of these or they're never printed again.
Wow.
Kind of a situation. So sorry, I just had to show that.
No, dude, that's incredible.
That's really cool.
Nice.
Like, I didn't know something like that exists, and it looks even better than if like a studio or a company released it. I mean,
dude, this art is it's literally a perfect print.
Yeah, no, that artwork is really cool. I really like that.
And then this is just the back.
That's when you know when a fan makes something, because when a company and corporations make something, it's to sell. But when a fan makes something so detailed like that, that's when you know it's like they put in heart and soul into that, man.
For sure.
Yeah, well, speaking of video games, have you guys seen the Jurassic Park Survivor trailer?
No.
So there's a first-person survival horror game coming out called Jurassic Park Survivor.
Is it like that Titanic? I saw the Titanic Survivor one.
So, sort of, but you play a security guard on the island the night of the original Jurassic Park escape, and you get left on the island.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, I'll have to share the Instagram link with you guys. They released a trailer, and then the game's almost done. They said it's supposed to be out early next year.
Is it for I'm assuming for like the next generation consoles like PS5 and
yeah, it's like made on whatever the latest Unreal is. It's very, very advanced.
Damn. They're making it hard to stay on the PS4. Like, I have the Xbox One still in the PS4. It's like I can't partake anymore on like the Halloween game, like any of that stuff, because everything's on the new stuff now.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
So do you guys, I don't know like where you guys were at on this, but do you like the direction that the sequels went in? Or maybe just speaking for Lost World and then Jurassic Park 3 or everything past that point? Because I feel like you could kind of divide it up into a plethora of ways.
I really like Jurassic World, the first one. I really like the first one. Second one's good. I like them all. Even the third one. Like I said, the Dominion, it's bad. It's the worst one, but it's not unwatchable to me. You got to watch it more than once, Steven. The first time you watch it, you're going to be like, what the hell am I watching? This is dog shit. But give it a second chance. You're like, give it a few days. Once you know what the movie is, revisit it. But I mean, I like the world. I'm stoked for the new one, especially because I've heard it's really good, and it brings you back to the feels of the first ones. But I'm also not the biggest fan of modern filmmaking in general. So
that's fair.
Yeah, people did this weird thing. Like, I like Jurassic World. There's particularly one moment of it that I love, and I'm always been a big defender of Fallen Kingdom. And people do this thing where it's like we were okay with how far the first 2 or 3 went, right? But then all of a sudden they take it just as far, just in a different context in the new ones, and people are like, oh, it's no longer Jurassic Park. They took it it's too unrealistic. Like when they introduced cloning,
they get way too deep into the cloning. And there was one draft where they were going, and I'm so glad they haven't done this because this would have ruined the whole thing. They were going to do like a human dinosaur.
I remember reading about that
at one point. Yeah. I'm so glad they never went that way. But
oh, my bad, man. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say they almost did go that route.
Oh, God.
I saw Jurassic World. So when Jurassic World came out, I was working overnights. I finished we worked 6 10-hour shifts, and then we were off for 6 days. And it was the Friday morning. I got done work and I went right to the theater and saw it. And I liked Jurassic World, but there was one moment in particular that, I don't know if it was because it was super early in the morning and I was tired, but one particular moment that really hit me, and it's when the 2 kids survive the attack in the orb thing, and they end up with the old visitor center.
Yeah.
And there's a really quick moment when the kid realizes they're in the original visitor center, and he's at the wallpaper and he touches it, and you hear the like the really light in the back. And for some reason, that moment always just gave me chills. I love that little callback.
You know, if we're talking about those type of moments, I do want to bring up, out of any scene in any of the Jurassic Park movies, the scene where they're at the end of the pier and the volcano erupts, and you just see that one dinosaur, which I know Chris will know the name of the dinosaur. Brachiosaurus. Yeah. And it stands up and it cries. Dude, that scene.
The Vegisaurus. Yeah, the Vegisaurus.
Dude, it's so heartbreaking.
That's supposed to be the Brachiosaurus from the first movie. That first scene. That's that dinosaur.
Are you serious?
I think it's the same shot, right? Like it's literally
the same exact.
It's like they went and took the exact same like wide shot or something. I don't know if it's the one where he's eating from the tree or something. They took something to reference that first one, but
dude,
that's supposed to be that same dinosaur.
Dude, I've watched Fallen Kingdom multiple times and I skip it. That scene,
is
so sad, dude.
I remember seeing that in theaters and being like, why am I so sad right now?
Yeah. There's no way for your eyes to not get sweaty after watching that scene, man. Like it really like even even just thinking about it, it's like, dude, like that's because it was kind of almost saying goodbye to an era. Like I felt like it was saying goodbye to the original movies, and it's like now it's gonna be different, and it like the storyline kind of died a little bit with that dinosaur.
Well, J.A. Bayona, who directed Fallen Kingdom, brought so much style visually to the franchise. Like as much as I don't agree with some of the directions they went in, there's 2 moments in the end. The final scene, once they oh my god, what's it called? Indoraptor.
Indoraptor, yeah.
Indoraptor. When the Indoraptor escapes, there's a moment when it's on the roof and it like does that cry in front of the moon. But then there's another moment when it's hunting the little girl, the clone, and he's on one side of one of the glass fixtures and she's on the other, and she looks down into the glass and you can see her reflection, and then you see the Indoraptor on the other side matching her movement, and they line up perfectly because they're both creations of this cloning. And it's like visual poetry to me. That how well that worked.
I will say that whole auction scene was really good. The whole when the Indoraptor escaped and you could tell how smart he was and everything when he's just toying with people, like that was genius. My only real flaw with that ending scene is I hate that shot at the very end when both dinosaurs are falling. It just all I see is the animation of the key points, and I feel like there's like a couple keyframes that aren't smooth enough because you feel like they're just falling imperfect. I'm like, I get what they're doing, and I love this the composition of the shot. I just don't like the animation of both dinosaurs sitting there falling like that.
This is a good question.
Yeah.
That was asked.
Would Jurassic Park still be iconic if it were made with only animatronics and no CGI? Dude, I think that it wouldn't be as big because
you're
you're capped at like animatronics, and then it's like, I mean, the money that would go into creating such a world like Jurassic World. I mean, it's with the volcano and all that stuff.
Dude, I don't care what anybody says. I don't care how advanced CGI gets in 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. When you sit down and you watch Jurassic Park, the marriage of CGI and practical has never blended so well. My brain, which can pick up like a CGI object in the background and instantly like pull myself from the movie, never once goes like, oh, now we're CGI. Oh, now we're practical. Yeah. It's married perfectly to the point where I'm just in it. I'm not picking up where it changes. Clearly, I know where it does, but so I don't think it has the same effect. I think it would lessen the scale, but it would be interesting to see.
Oh, absolutely.
I just feel like you'd be limited, like with how much you could do with it. I mean, the
raptor scene would be different in the kitchen scene for sure.
Well, when he means animatronics, does he mean like practical effects? Because the kitchen scene is predominantly, it's literally men in a suit. Yeah. Most of the scene.
Of the scene. The iconic scene I think of is when they jump, when you can tell they're digital, when they just jump on top.
Yeah.
But most of that is practical when they're haunting through the windows and they slowly creep in. It's dudes on suits. I think the practical holds up way better than like Blue in the Lost World ones.
Oh, dude. I would say the CGI in Jurassic World holds up better than, or Jurassic Park holds up better than most of Jurassic World. Like Jurassic World looks like a green screen, the whole movie. Well, because you also there's no grain, there's none of that film, like the lighting's all very,
it's more, it's way more daytime, and it's way more just the way it's lit is more just it's flatter lit. They weren't dealing with the restraints that Spielberg had, where he used light and shadow to hide, it being an animatronic and making it look as real as possible. We don't have to deal with that now. Just light it as bright as you can,
I almost think it's cool that we can use CGI for so many different things now, but I almost think that it lessens, like using the practical effects and like we were talking about, the perfect blend of like practical effects and CGI to make this this idea come to life. I feel like was so effective, at least for the first couple movies, but it's almost like CGI overkill. Once it gets to that point, I almost think it kind of, for me at least, it takes me out of it. It just seems less believable at that point.
Yeah. And I think a big problem is like, I definitely think studio pressure and deadlines cause a lot of the end results that we see with shoddy CGI and stuff. But I would also argue that modern filmmakers are also a lot less imaginative. Like there are ways to use CGI and light it and build the scene and literally craft a moment and use it well, and it almost feels like that doesn't exist anymore. It's very rare, like how it's put together. Like you watch movies nowadays and everything, like there's stuff that looks good, but like it almost feels like it's just kind of like, okay, this is what I want, and they're like, okay, here it is. There's no challenges, there's no obstacles to have to switch things up. You don't have a physical environment where light's being impacted by objects or by surfaces, by none of that. Like, there's no challenges to overcome. Now you can just go, okay, we'll just fix that in post, and it's not creative.
Not to mention like how it affects the actors, right? Because to be a good actor, you have something, for the most part. I mean, obviously use your imagination, but you need tangibility. And it makes such a difference to be able to have something right in front of you and to be able to get that reaction of like you're standing in the rain and there's a giant T-Rex compared to imagining that there's a T-Rex there. Like it happens with these superhero movies, right? With the Marvel movies, like they're running towards a bad guy that's not even there. So they have to do the best that they can with what they have. And yeah.
It's even using the little things. Like, think about this. The scariest part of Jurassic Park 1 the first instance of scare is not the Jurassic Park. It's the cup of water in the car. Yeah. You get so much scale, and you understand what that is, and it's just a cup of water, like, doing that.
Yeah. We just watched Carrie today, and clearly what's coming in the prom scene, but it's the 7 minutes of slow motion that build up, and you see Sue realizing that there's a rope, and then the camera follows the rope, and then Carrie White gets announced as the prom queen, and you have all this build up, which doesn't happen anymore. Like, nobody slows down. I even think of, like, just visually, in the first movie, there's that awesome moment when the projector screens the coding onto the raptor.
Yeah.
And you could tell it's a practical raptor. It's real lighting. It's a real projection. And it's just, it's such a quick moment because it's like looking up at the ceiling and you see that. But to me, I'm like, how cool of a moment is it? Like, they had to build that, they had to have that practical animatronic there. They had to set up that lighting. You have to set up the scene just to get this little 3-second shot. But it's so effective because every time I watch the movie, I'm always like, God damn, that looks good.
Imagine how amazing it must have been to be an actor like in that, and especially in the original too, where like they're just standing or hiding from a dinosaur and it's like legit moving around in the room with them. Like, I mean, that must have been incredible, man. Like, to just be able to experience it. And I do want to say too that even in the first movie, like what Brian was talking about, how sometimes it's just building it up instead of just showing it. Like that first scene where the raptor's in the cage and it's like screeching and screaming, but you don't see it. And it's like, you're like, what? Like, you know what it is, kind of, but it's
just the same with the feeding scene. The feeding scene, all you see is the bushes going like this in the camera, and then
shuffling around,
and you see Attenborough just look at Alan Grant, just with this smirk on his face. Well, all this sound effects, but all that is just people waving branches in front of the camera, giving you like a POV.
Yeah,
and it's like, damn, like
less is more. I mean,
less is more.
They don't rely on like just a CGI overload of different effects to build out scenes, like the sound design, the imagination of like what's actually going on. I think that plays a huge part. Or even, is it they drop the goat that they drop into the T-Rex?
Yeah.
Well, it was the goat, and he kept saying, he wanted to hunt. You don't, a T-Rex wants to hunt because nothing's happening.
Yeah,
and when you
go ahead.
No, go ahead, man. You're good.
No, I was just gonna say, but I feel like we're just as impatient as they are. We want to see something happen. We're in the same position that they are. It almost feels like you're basically sitting there in like the Jeep, just waiting for something to pop off. But I mean, it drags it out. Like, there's a lot of dread that's built up until the point where you start seeing like the shaking in the water, and something bad's coming, and then eventually, obviously, the T-Rex breaks out. But the payoff is worth it so much more compared to I don't know. I didn't feel like I ever got that in any of the later sequels like that.
That's exactly what I was going to bring up, because the paddock scene is so much longer than people remember. Because there's so much character stuff that builds up to that. You have the conversation with Alan and Malcolm in the car when he's sharing the whiskey, and then you have the kids and the lawyer, and you have the whole scene where he finds the night vision goggles. The lawyer says it's a heavy and it's expensive, put it back. You have that. Then it cuts back to Malcolm and Grant, but then you have the whole the thing's gone, the leg falls. The lawyer runs out, and there's it's so long. The scene starts so quiet and just does these great little character moments. And then when you get to the initial scene, when the T-Rex comes out, you still have like 3 minutes before he even starts attacking the Jeep.
Yeah.
And it's so good, dude. It just takes its time and it slowly moves around the scene. So then when he starts attacking, and dude, there's no better argument for practical effects than the accident that is the window breaking from the sunroof.
Yeah.
Which was a total accident. They moved that T-Rex down way too quick, and that reaction they give is 100% authentic because that wasn't supposed to happen.
I didn't know that.
That's incredible.
Cool.
Yeah, that was a complete accident. So when that window breaks and it's that shot from the back and you see it come down, that was 100% not supposed to happen.
Well, isn't it, if I remember correctly, like piecing it together from the scene where their vehicle gets attacked by the T-Rex and then it gets like basically pushed over and it falls down. Isn't there like some way that it's connected that like I think it was like an error in the production of how that scene takes place? I swear I remember seeing something on that.
So me and Erica have had this breakdown a lot. You can actually find the map of like an overhead drawing of the area.
Okay.
So where the Jeeps are lined, right? The paddock is to their right. And then right after the paddock, where they don't really ever establish it, but there is a drop off at the end of the T-Rex area. And that's where the Jeep gets pushed over to. And it was I wouldn't say it's an error because you can find the original production design drawings that show this. They just never physically established that there was a drop there. There was no scene that showed like, oh, this is the end of the paddock. There was no shot. So it's very confusing.
Yes. And I remember as a kid, I was like, how is all this happening? But I mean, I guess there's a little bit more to it than I realized.
You can see it when Muldoon and Sadler show up. You can see where she looks over and looks down is slightly to the left of the broken fence where the T-Rex came out, because then she runs from the left over. So that's the only time that you ever see kind of the proportions of the layout. But I had the same thing. I told my wife, I was like, is there like a gap that of like 30 feet that this T-Rex just kind of like long-legged over? You know what I mean?
So if you guys had to name, okay, let's just talk about the first one, because since we're already on the topic, what do you guys think is the most impactful scene out of the entire movie, or one that left like the biggest impact on you guys?
Ooh. When Ian Malcolm is in the courtroom and he's giving that speech, like in what was it? Was it in, I forgot which one of the new ones it was, but it's like I remember that scene.
Kingdom.
It was Fallen Kingdom.
Yeah. And that scene when he gives that speech, man, like that was good. At least to me, that was like one of those like, damn.
So I'm gonna honorable mention would be Nick Johnson in Jurassic World when he has the original shirt on.
He was like,
that original park was legit.
He was like, you don't think that's appropriate?
He has a dinosaur sitting there and stuff.
From the first movie, I don't know if there's a scene that I mean, I think the whole movie, I would say honestly, my favorite, I'll just go off my favorite shot of that movie is the ending when they're escaping and the raptors are attacking the T-Rex and she throws the one off, and you have that shot where she roars and the "When Dinosaurs Ruled the Earth" banner is falling in front of her. Like technically, and I think in history, that's always the scene you see when it comes to like the Jurassic Park, see, that's always the moment for me when it's so triumphant. You have the music. Remind me to thank John for a wonderful. Or no, he says, oh my God, what does Alan Grant say? Upon something like review, I do not advise your park or something. He says, yeah.
I'm
I will not be
with Jeff
recommending it.
Goldblum. I'm gonna have to go with Jeff Goldblum with his shirt off,
Oh yeah.
posed right there.
How have we gone an hour and 25 minutes and the dream sequence with the raptor has not been brought up?
I don't
Jurassic
hate
Park
that
3.
as much as I don't hate that
Alan.
as much as a lot of people do.
It's so weird. I remember seeing that in theaters, and I was like,
Alan.
"What the fuck is going on?"
That's how traumatized the guy was. Like, where it's like he's like dreaming about talking dinosaurs at that point.
Yeah.
And it's like it sucks. He wakes up in that plane and he's like, "Please don't tell me." Oh, there it is.
I'll bring him in to hang out. There's nowhere I can
that's
put him
Brian.
See,
What?
But,
Why
There
is
you
he
go.
out of the box?
There you go, buddy.
So seductive.
Oh man, that should have been. You know what? That should have been the thumbnail. Like it should have been him like that, and all of us just like around his arm or something.
Dear God.
This is on subject and kind of just because I'm looking at it right now and I want to get y'all's opinions because we all do collect physical media. And as I'm on Instagram right now, and I'm like, how do y'all feel about like when Jurassic Park World Rebirth is not even out yet, technically, right?
Not till tomorrow, yeah.
They're already releasing the physical media of like the steelbooks.
Wow.
I've noticed the trend of that more recently.
And I'm like, the movie's not even out yet.
It's getting faster and faster, man. Like it's like that's insane.
Wasn't Bloodlines like that when that came out? They had already announced the steelbook.
They're all like that. It's like the day.
I don't even know if I like the movie.
Yeah.
But what do y'all? How do y'all feel about them keeping the world and getting rid of the park? Because me personally, I like the park name better than the world name, and I get it. Like Jurassic Park was the first 3, Jurassic World is the next 3, but we're continuing on with the world. For me personally, I would have liked to change or something, or maybe gone back to park, because I feel like Jurassic Park is going to get lost in all this, and it's just always going to be future generations are going to just know it as world.
Mm-hmm.
So when we went to Universal Studios last year, I was really afraid because I know that they had changed, like the Velocicoaster was Jurassic World. I know that they were retheming, and I was really scared that when we walk into the area that the Jurassic Park was going to turn into World, and luckily it didn't. But I know in Universal Studios Hollywood, they changed the Jurassic Park River Adventure to Jurassic World. But in the Jurassic Park River Adventure, there's a moment when you pass 2 little compies that are pulling on like a tattered like work shirt, and they did change that to Jurassic World. So they took the Jurassic Park shirt out and they replaced it with a Jurassic World. I guess that's, how the young kids are gonna connect to it, right?
It's gonna be like it's gonna be like 20 years from now. We're gonna be the old guys that were like, I remember when it was Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Like it's a park, man, not a world.
Like I understand why they did it. It makes sense. It's like the first 3 take place, even though obviously the second one does go into like the city with the T-Rex, but it made sense that it's like Jurassic Park in the last, that's where it is. And then once it expands and then dinosaurs get out, they're all over the world. And I could understand that part, but it's true. It's like it's really
but
divided.
Only the first one really took place at the park, because the world is at a park, but like this new one,
true, yeah.
Based off the trailers I've seen, they're just back on another island.
So let me ask you guys, how cool would it have been if the news came out that David Koepp was writing a new one, news came out that Gareth Edwards was coming out with it, and that first trailer said Jurassic Park Rebirth?
I would have been excited. I would have been more excited, I think.
Especially because you're advertising it as Rebirth. You're trying to restart it. I went right back to Park.
Especially if you're just going to stay on an island. I feel like but it's carrying over from the last one, because they're still bring the big fucking underwater 40-foot whale thing.
Yeah, the Megalosaurus.
The
This
Megalosaurus
guy.
is like still in this, which is like the one thing that is carried over from the world movies, you know.
Yeah, I don't. I'm really like I've heard great things about this movie. I think what bothers me most. Wow, it's weird that I started saying that. I think what bothers me most is from the start we knew how rushed this was because Gareth Edwards
Mhm.
was hired and they were like, "Look, dude, this is going to come out in July," and this was like November, so
Yeah.
there's no practical effects. Like, you know, so I'm anxious and I don't need practical. It's 2025. I don't really expect them as much.
No, we're not gonna get. I mean, they'll market it as much. I feel like the whole practical thing is a marketing thing, especially now. They're trying to market stuff as practical, but you can't
Mhm.
do that. Even with the Jurassic World movies, they tried that. We're going
Yeah.
back to practical, and it's like
Yeah.
they would show 1 or 2 clips of one thing, and
Like a
then
plan.
it's like, okay, this one giant head is practical. Look, you guys, and it's like the rest of it's just.
Yeah.
See, even then, they'll replace it with CGI. It's practical on set, but they're going to replace the whole thing with CGI. They're going to add the blinking. They're going to add the drool. They're going to make it look more shiny and more, whatever, breathing in the neck and stuff. Where, Jurassic Park, even up until Jurassic Park 3, which was what, was that late 90s or early 2000s? I can't remember. That was early 2000s.
Early
2001.
Yeah.
The other one. I mean, CGI was definitely more of a thing, but
Yeah, but can we talk about Jurassic Park 3? How fucking incredible the Spinosaurus boat scene is
Yeah.
towards the end of the movie, because that's one of the biggest animatronics for practical dinosaurs they ever made, and it looks incredible in that scene.
I really like the third one. I don't get people's problem with the third one. Even the second one. I've heard people say, no, the second one's the worst. I love the second one. The second one's got one of my favorite shots in all of the Jurassic Parks, and it's the simplest shot. It's a wide shot in the forest of Julian Moore and Jeff Goldblum just walking. And it's this very long, wide shot that you're like, damn, they're really in this big-ass forest,
Oh yeah, but that scene is incredible, and it's funny because if you go back and you watch it, you can see her back there, like watching from the beginning of it.
Oh, really?
And have you guys ever? And maybe this is me being weird. There are certain sounds in that first Jurassic Park that I love, and one of them is when Dennis is popping out the DNA clicks and he's clicking them into the Barbasol can, and the second is the sound of Muldoon extending the shoulder part of the shotgun in the woods, and it makes like the click
and the
for some reason those every time I watch those movies, those sounds are very satisfying to me.
It's because it's textured, man. Like it's like when I hear those sounds, I know what you're talking about. I could almost feel it in my hand.
It's
like
weird they
did such a great job with the audio engineering with that, man. I mean, imagine with Adobe Atmos.
With Dennis, it cuts to that shot of his hand and he's clicking them into place in the Barbasol can. Yeah, it's just for some reason, even the sound of like the when he pulls the top off of the DNA thing. I don't know, man. It's weird.
I also love the shot in the first one when they're because you made me think of it when you're talking about sounds, like this is the sound of the electric fence.
Yeah.
And everything, but the shot when they're climbing, the camera just kind of goes underneath the fence as they're climbing up. I'm like, that's so dope.
Dude, I think Brian, you and I have talked about it a lot on various lives or whatever, but it's that Spielberg blocking and just the way he moves the camera.
He knows how to move the camera. He knows how to show you what's important and what's not. It's not nowadays. It's coverage. It's 5-6 cameras, and we'll figure out the blocking and editing. It's over the shoulder. Get the exposition out. Like, no, not with Spielberg.
Yeah, he builds worlds, man. I mean, that's the beauty of it. I mean, like that's why the second one, for example, that scene where they're on this giant open field and you see all the vehicles and they're chasing the baby dinosaurs and stuff. I mean, that man, it's such like it just opens it up, and you're kind of just staring. You're like, wow, like this is a big movie.
And it goes back to like what we were talking about earlier with the building the suspense, you know, when she's trying to turn on everything, and it's like, can they escape the fence in time? And they have this, like, to me, it's a De Palma shot. It's very much like where she's out there with the red light on her, and then the camera just goes all the way down to the bottom and does, because Spielberg doesn't use zoom lenses very often. He never really, zoom's not really his thing, but he kind of goes down and zooms into this. I'm like, that's so De Palma. I love it.
And it establishes the suspense of showing you it's the last one. Look at all of these she has to hit, and then you have the perimeter fence.
Yep.
And it's such a good way. And same with the scene, I talked about it already, but the scene with Ellie and Hammond, and when they're talking at the table with the flea circus, you have the piano doing the slowed down version of the scene, and the camera just shows you like the lunch boxes.
Yeah.
It shows you the toys. And then there's this great little like dolly shot where it kind of comes into the room and establishes this giant table that Hammond is sitting at alone.
Yeah.
It's so good, dude.
Okay. I'm glad you brought that up, because I guess as a whole, where are you guys at on John Hammond as a character?
Oh man.
I think he was more sneaky than they let him on.
Yeah.
I think the second movie really kind of pushes him over the edge as like a little bit of a scumbag.
Yeah, the way he uses them, like he uses his girlfriend to like get Ian to go back to the island, and the way he's just like he takes out the folder with his profile on there. It's like, dude, that's messed up. Like,
and he's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and he's all like excited because he's got his whole troop there, you know?
Yeah. I think that's the genius of great character writing, though, is like nobody is ever really Jimmy Buffett.
He was.
Like I think it's perfectly fine to have just great characters, but there needs to be flaws, you know. And it's like John Hammond is a great character, but he's a truly flawed person, you know what I mean? And we acknowledge that and we know that, but still, I mean, you know, seeing him always brings a smile to my face, you know.
You know, I also it was funny because so Steven here, he was asking for us to talk about that T-Rex scene when he's out of the fence and where the Ford Explorer falls off the edge. You know, this question actually reminds me of in Jurassic Park 2 when they're like off the ledge and they're dangling off the rope and it's like raining and you have like Ian Malcolm and his girlfriend and Vince Vaughn. Dude, that was the one scene that for a brief moment it took me out of the movie. And the reason why was because of the elements. Like I've never rock climbed in the rain, but I do rock climb. And even indoors when your hands are sweating, dude, like the rope slips through your hand. And the fact that they had their full weight, they weren't tied in, and it was pouring rain. And like they're just dangling off this ledge and all the movements and everything. It's like I was like, dude, that was the one thing that was hard for me to believe. I believed on the dinosaurs, but that in particular was like, I don't know.
There's something. Go ahead, Brian.
I was gonna say there's a part of that scene I totally agree. It's one of my favorite parts of the movie, but it also takes you out of the tension of it. Yeah. When he's like, "Can I get you anything?" and they all ask for like fries and McDonald's and stuff. It's like they're all three of them are going on along with the joke.
Yeah. That's another great scene though with the sound design, because the windshield's broken, right? So you have it goes over the edge, and then Sarah falls and lands on the glass, which is a great suspense thing. But then you just have like the sound of water dripping onto like various surfaces. You can hear the creaking because there's no music in these moments. And then you hear it again. It's the noise. It's the noise of the glass like splintering as she's like moving on it very slow. But I agree. That's always a scene. I'm always really into it up until it finally tips over the edge.
Until it tips over.
For sure.
Yeah. Dude, and then I'm kind of out of it until, because then you have, I don't know why they did it, but when they get rescued by the InGen people, there's like that really triumphant music. Like Eddie didn't just get ripped into pieces and they almost died. You know what I mean? Like,
And it looks like they were stepping on something too. Like it's funny because like when they're coming up, you could tell like for when they're hanging that it's like the wall's completely flat. But then when they're coming up, it's like they're coming up steps. And I could always catch that. And I don't know, man, to me it's like it's a scary scene because anybody that's like been in tall buildings and has looked over a ledge or stood on a balcony and you feel that air all around you, like I could definitely understand that fear of just hanging there. But yeah, it's like there's certain things that it's like, man, you could have made it a little. I know it's Jurassic, I know there's dinosaurs and stuff, but you could have made that a little bit more realistic.
It's little things too, like when it does go over the edge, the trailer, and it blows up. You have like
With the tire.
the tire, and I'm like, okay, that physically is not possible. You know, I mean, like a ball never bounces as high as the surface you drop it from, but like it's such a stupid little effect. You know what I mean? Oh yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
when the two
absolutely.
T-Rex came out, that's when you knew it was game over. You're like, oh crap. They're looking for their baby.
Check this out. So I got a couple things I'm going to show.
Ooh, let's do the show and tell.
So my buddy Brandon, who got the vinyl, he also found, and there's I think 8 of these. We have a full collection. But speaking of the T-Rex scene, check out this. I think these were McDonald's. Yeah. Check out these McDonald's cups.
Dude, I love that kind of memorabilia.
So that's the T-Rex paddock. And
it's incredible.
Nobody talked about how incredible this scene was, and I didn't because I wanted to show this, but this hits my heart in a very beautiful place.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it's not him like laying on it.
I know. I don't know why, but I also have I brought these just for fun. I have the full original like Tops collection.
Oh, it's cool.
But
you really did grab all your toys.
Well, bro, hold on. Here's my favorite, right? So my beautiful wife brought this to our home, and so this is the souvenir photo that you used to get when you did the Jurassic Park River Adventure. And in this is, I don't know how I'm going to show it. I'm going to find where she's at here. A picture of my wife. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it on here. She's the little girl right
here. Oh,
yeah. It's so cool.
Yeah, so this is fully original from when it doesn't have a year on it. But yeah, it's a fully original Kodak like souvenir display that you could buy that has my wife screaming on the Jurassic Park ride.
Dude,
holy hell.
Universal needs to do a Jurassic Park like an actual, like if they have now, they have a horror section. They need to have a whole Jurassic Park section, which is just like T-Rexes and freaking raptors and all sorts of petting zoos.
If you think about it, I mean, Jurassic Park 1, I mean, they tried to go back to it with Fallen Kingdom with the horror aspect of it, but I mean, Jurassic Park 1 is a pure horror movie. I mean, literally, they're the dude with his arm cut off. You know, Ellie sees the arm, and you see the full, like, dude got his arm ripped off, and it's bloody as shit.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, Arnold.
You know,
dude,
it's like...
such another great, like, Samuel L. Jackson role.
Yep.
Hold on to your butts.
The body parts everywhere.
I tell that to my wife all the time. She's like, "You're an idiot."
Well, hold on to your butts.
Yeah, hold on to your butts.
And then going back to like what I was talking about earlier with the suspense and like it's the little moments that are so human that you don't need to show anything. When we were talking about the cup with the T-Rex scene, but the introduction to the raptor chase scene is her sitting there with the Jello, and she's sitting there holding that Jello like scared, and the kid's like, what are you looking at? And it's like it goes from the image, the picture, to the silhouette of the raptor, and all you see is this Jello, you know.
Dude, the scene where she turned her head, I don't remember if it was that one or during the ice cream scene, but where she just does like this stiff neck and she just like turns.
Dude, it's that scene.
That was so good, man. Like that, like you could tell there was actual fear. Like it was. I wonder if they didn't tell her or something. They were like, "Hey, there's going to be something there."
There's so many moments that I feel like, I feel like you just have to do a play-by-play of this movie. Like
Yeah.
when he says when Alan Grant says they can open doors, like and you see the handle jiggling, like so many great moments, man. Like it's kind of hard to not just keep picking one out of the
Like-
bunch, you know.
Like the realistic moment when the raptor comes up to the window and you see his breath like on the screen, like,
Yeah.
and then they overdo it on the second one to show you this is a real raptor.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah, they do. Yep, it like takes up the whole window. It's like
Yeah, it's like the first one it's like a tease, and then it comes and it's like
yeah.
all over the window, full steam ahead.
I think Jurassic World so far has done. I mean, I don't know, dude. Jurassic. Every time I think about how, like, every time I sit down, I'm like, I'm gonna watch Jurassic World. I get to the scene when he's riding a motorcycle alongside all the raptors, and I'm like, yeah, I don't
That's
know
so
if I like this
CGI.
as much anymore. You know, I don't know.
Like,
Yeah.
damn it, Chris Pratt.
I
Even though
don't
it would
like
be
Chris
cool.
Pratt.
'Cause dude, I ride motorcycles, so I always think about that. I was like, I wish, like, even though it's cheesy, I was like, damn, it would be cool to kind of like imagine you're like the alpha out of raptors, and you're just like, come on, guys.
Well, the
I
problem with Jurassic World is, and they establish this because it goes through the whole franchise, all three of them, the last
Yeah.
three of the worlds. All you got to do to stop a dinosaur is put your hand out. Even in the third one, he is surrounded by big raptors. Once he's not trained to do that, he just holds his hand out and they stop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm like,
there's
that's a little ridiculous.
a lot of weird little. I was never sold on Chris Pratt's character. Like he never felt like a real.
He's
person.
playing Chris Pratt. That's what he's
Yeah,
playing.
yeah. He's just Star Lord, except
Yeah.
Star Lord works with dinosaurs. And even the only scene that I thought was clever was the what's that what's the T-Rex called in Jurassic World? What's the one that the hybrid?
Is that's not the Indoraptor? The
I just know Nick Johnson calls it like a Pepsi
yeah,
Sora,
yeah,
a
yeah. the
Dorito.
Pepsi, yeah,
Yeah.
the hold on, that's gonna bug me. I don't want to look it up because that's gonna bug me.
Indominus Rex.
Indominus Rex. Yes.
I thought it was really clever writing to have it scrape the walls. That way it looks like it escaped to get
Mhm.
somebody to go in. I just thought like that was a super smart little misdirection that was kind of Hitchcockian. You know what I mean?
I love how you have like the one fat security guard in there who's in charge of the whole thing.
That's what's funny. It's like they're like she touts how they built this whole brand new high tech, system, and then there's just like Paul Blart watching it on the outside.
I wonder if it was callback to the original Jurassic Park with that guy, the one that takes a little vial that
It
sneaks
could
the
be.
vials out.
Dennis.
It could be. I will say my favorite character in the world's movies is the Indian guy, the new John Hammond guy. He's playing, and the pilot's even scared.
Yeah.
And he's just
The
like,
pilot
calm
gets down,
down,
throws up.
chill out,
Yeah.
we got this.
He was
When
dude,
they
he was so
land,
funny.
You see the pilot run over to the side and puke into the
Puke,
bushes.
yeah, as soon as they get off, because stop being dramatic. He's just being dramatic. Like,
Yeah, he just gets off. He's like, "Hey, how's it going?" He's just it's like, what the hell's up with this guy? He's just. It must be nice to be that rich, where you're just carefree and you're like, "I'm gonna fly my plane today."
What do you guys? Is there anything, just out of curiosity, that you guys are? I don't want to say expecting because I don't want to set expectations, but is there anything about Rebirth that you're really hoping to get? Like if they do this or they head in this direction, it would make you really happy.
I hope
honestly,
it.
if it's good, that will be the biggest misdirection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because I go into modern, like I'm gonna see it, but there's no excitement for me to go see it. And I feel that way about most movies. I've been to 2 movies this year in theaters, and both of them have sucked.
Oh God, what were they?
Captain America: Brave New World and Snow White. But Snow White, I just went out of pure curiosity, knowing I was gonna hate it.
He's Brian's a big John Watts fan, so yeah.
Wait, John
Yeah.
Watt? Which one did John
director.
Watts do? Of
The
which
director
one?
of Snow White.
No, that was
No.
Mark Webb. No,
Oh, Mark Webb. I'm sorry, that's his
Mark
name.
Webb, yeah. I was like, Spider-Man director?
I forgot.
Well,
Well,
I
because I got
was-
confused because Webb and Spider-Man and dinosaurs. Yeah.
I went to go see that movie for him because Spider-Man 1, the Amazing Spider-Man 1 is so amazing to me. and I had hope in that director. But with the new Rebirth, here's the thing: Garrett Edwards doesn't sell me. The creator was boring as shit. It was visually cool, but it was boring. I did not like Godzilla. Rogue One was basically taken over by somebody else, apparently. Tony Gilroy, I think. And I didn't like that movie the first time I saw it. That movie had to grow on me. So Garrett, I respect him as a filmmaker, watching interviews and how he's still with his indie roots.
Yeah.
But it's like Chris said earlier, you know, they rushed it. And I just hope they shot it in a way that surprises me. I hope to be surprised. I'm going in with low expectations just because it's a movie in 2025.
That's
so if it's good, if I leave the theater with a smile on my face, that will be good enough for me.
I'm curious to how the score is because I have the score. It might have come out already. I have it pre-saved on my Spotify because it was supposed to come out today. Let me. No, it comes out in an hour. Oh, it comes out at midnight. The Jurassic World Rebirth score. It's 34 tracks. So I'm curious to see. So it was done by somebody I've never heard of, Alexandre Desplat, and it looks like he did some work. Oh, he did like later Harry Potter stuff. Looks like he did stuff for Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. So he's definitely got some history, but I'm curious to see how. Oh, well, he's worked with Gareth Edwards before. He did the 2014 Godzilla score. I'm curious to see. I always love listening to the soundtrack because it gives me an idea of how much are they calling back. You know what I mean?
For sure. What up, man?
What's up, dude? You know, I'm just hoping that with the new movie, like, I know they're already the one thing I hated right off the bat, I hated the trailers. I hated the fact that they showed so many extended scenes. To me, that kind of it kind of really annoyed me a bit because usually when they try to sell you that hard, it's gonna end up kind of sucking a bit. But I'm going in, like Brian said, I'm going into it with an open mind, hoping that it is as dark as they're leading on for it to be, because I want to watch a Jurassic Park that's not going to be as family friendly and it's going to be a little bit more realistic and scarier. But yeah, I'm also hoping the music's good. I'm hoping that that the acting is it's there. I mean, the characters, we could actually enjoy them like in the original movies.
I'm hoping Scarlett Johansson isn't so like masculine as she is in the trailer the whole movie.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I hope it's not one of those like agenda driven movies. I don't think they would with this Jurassic Park, but you never know.
No, she's gonna be girl boss. It's gonna be girl boss. But,
did you guys feel like the casting was kind of a weird choice? I don't know why. Like when I first heard that they were casting her in a follow-up movie, it just seemed like, I don't know.
Well,
I just feel like you're throwing shit at the wall basically to see if it's gonna stick as far as casting goes.
Like a reboot.
Yeah.
GGC, I mean, think about it. And I don't think you can draw into because my favorite character that looks like it is the gay actor in it. But you got to think they got the female girl boss, you got the gay you got the gay lead. So they're not going to be a love interest. There's no love story there. I'm excited to see what Mahershala Ali's character is going to be.
Yeah.
I think casting wise, what I'm looking forward to most is the whatever initial scene that Scarlett Johansson's in a lot of peril when Florence Pugh shows up to save her. That's going to be my favorite. I think my favorite callback to Marvel. Sorry,
you're just going to be waiting for Florence Pugh to show up.
Dude, if Florence Pugh
I would always welcome that.
Riding a dinosaur.
Yeah.
In a Russian accent.
Yeah. Oh man.
There is one, because I've tried to avoid a lot of the trailers and the promotion, but I saw something the other day that actually got me more interested. And it was like the normal people scene. It was like this little girl trying to open a raft, you know, and like she's on a pier, she's trying to escape, and you see this dinosaur kind of sleeping and he rolls over, kind of a thing. And this little girl just trying to open a raft, and the raft wakes him up, and she looks back and it's gone. And you see like the T-Rex under the water. So I'm like, are we gonna get swimming T-Rexes? I don't even know if that was a T-Rex.
That's the scene from the first book.
Oh, is that?
Mm-hmm.
That scene alone, I'm like, give me more normal people, because all I'm gonna see is Scarlett Johansson in that movie. I'm not gonna see her character. I'm gonna see that.
Do you guys remember the teaser that came out before Jurassic World Dominion of the RV camp? That came out. It was like 7 minutes long. It was directed by, I forget what his name is, who directed the first and third Jurassic World, but it took place at like a it was like almost like an RV camp, and the T-Rex comes in and it follows the family that gets stuck in the camper during the attack.
No, dude, I don't remember.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. You could find it. It was a trailer. I think it was like a teaser that they put out for Jurassic World, and they were like, "This is what Dominion's gonna be like," and then they never did that. It's called oh, sorry. It's called thank you. It's 10 minutes long. It's called Jurassic World Battle at Big Rock.
I think I remember hearing about that, but maybe if I rewatched it, but I don't. That director, have you ever watched his interviews? His ego is just. He came in thinking he was the savior of Jurassic Park.
He looks like a chubby J.J. Abrams.
If you've ever like actually watched it, because he was supposed to do the third Star Wars. And he was, it was like we got the director of Jurassic World coming in, and he's like, my script was so good that George Lucas said it was the best thing he'd ever read, and blah blah blah. But they didn't go off my script, some BS like that. And then he came back, he came back to save Jurassic World after J.A. Bayona's movie, and I just don't like watching interviews with him because
Colin Trevorrow was his name.
Colin Trevorrow, yeah, because he did Jurassic World, and then he did a movie. I don't know if you remember Book of Henry, which is one of the worst movies ever. Apparently, I never watched it, but he did a good indie. He came up from indies because he did Safety Not Guaranteed with the guy.
Love
from
that movie.
The guy from Jurassic World with the T-shirt on. But I don't know. It's like one of these things where you pull an indie director and he does one big movie and gets an ego. So it's just interviews I've seen with that director. I'm not the biggest fan of Colin Trevorrow because Jurassic World Dominion's the worst out of all of them.
Has he done anything since?
That's what I was about to ask.
I don't think so. The worst part of Dominion, I know you haven't seen it, Steven, but there's a scene where they introduce like the new big raptor, and it's the first scene with all the old cast and the new cast together, and it is so slow. The dinosaur cannot chase any of them as they're all trying to climb up this, tower. Can't get any of them, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
Can I just, not to get off topic, but I was looking through the run that Steven Spielberg had around the time that he released Jurassic Park, but it's pretty incredible. Like starting in 91, he had Hook, 93 Jurassic Park, same year Schindler's List, and then followed by The Lost World, and then let's see, the following year had Saving Private Ryan, which it's just, I don't know, it's pretty wild to me. Like he's just a very, very talented director, obviously, and I feel like he was just so pivotal between those two movies that he directed plus others that I feel like kind of like shaped my childhood.
Yeah, dude, I mean the impact of Spielberg on my youth is unmatched.
And even like not, I don't know, like even with what was it, Amblin? Yeah, with that production company, that it basically has his like thumbprints basically over whatever productions had come out underneath it. But I don't know, it's crazy.
I have to read, so I went on Letterboxd to read the reviews for Jurassic World Dominion, and I would just like to share a couple of this with you folks before I head off to bed.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to sign off here in a sec.
Here's my favorite one. This review is for 1.5 stars, and it says, this is the 4th time I've let Colin Trevorrow take a shit in my mouth, and I'm starting to think it's my fault. There's another one up here that just says, at one point, a kid in front of me got so bored he started doing a headstand in his seat, which would normally be annoying, but in this case was the most entertaining part of the movie.
Which review? What movie is this? Are you
Jurassic World Dominion?
Okay.
Somebody else said it's odd that Chris Pratt, an extremely religious man, would be the lead in a movie that's very existence proved there's no God. Somebody else said Laura Dern said Jeff Goldblum slid into her DMs before BD Wong shows up looking like Jeff Lebowski and starts a franchise's 200th dialogue about how humanity isn't meant to meddle in the affairs of nature.
He has the same monologue in every movie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Somebody said Colin Trevorrow must be stopped. That's it. That's the whole.
He's
That's
not
incredible.
He's not a good director.
Somebody said Ian's quote is so relatable. Jurassic World, not a fan. Somebody else said, well, that was one big pile of shit.
That's perfect.
I'm gonna have to add this segment to like the episodes where we just sit there and go over the shitty reviews. This is amazing,
Bro, there's so many here. Whoever made it, let's see. The entire time I was waiting for someone to write my name in the death note. Wait, hold on.
That's terrible.
Here's my final one. Well, first of all, there is a review. There is a review that just says aggressively shits pants. One star. But there's another review. It's 1 star. It says at one point Chris Pratt says of a dinosaur, "What an asshole," and at another point Jeff Goldblum says, "That's bananas." So. Letterbox reviews never disappoint,
dude.
No,
literally,
never.
that should have like Ian Malcolm's quote where he's like, "Did we ever think that it's not that we could, but if we should?" They should have done that for that movie. For absolutely,
mine would have
100%.
been Jurass, ass capitalized Ick World. That would have been mine. Thank you,
dude. Well,
I got a question for you,
yeah.
Chris, before you go, because there's something in because you were talking about little moments, like with like character moments, like you talking about Jeff Goldblum, like with the knee. There's a moment in Lost World that always got me. It's a character moment. It's so subtle you don't even think about it. But at the very beginning, the rich couple on the beach, and they're sitting there, and the wife, the daughter runs off, and the husband's like, just let her go play, whatever. The wife comes back up to the champagne. She's gonna grab it herself. She pauses and she thinks, wait, I have help. And then she called, and I'm like, to me, that's like a woman who did not grow up rich, who's just married rich. But it's this little character moment that I'm like, I really like that little touch of her just, oh, wait, no, wait. Oh, yeah, you're supposed to do this. Kind of.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like those are the little things like that help sell the character. Like you can clearly see the boat anchored off, in the distance. I even think it's the way that actor speaks. Like I clearly don't know. I don't know who that actor was, but the way he speaks is very like I don't know. There's a certain tone to how he speaks, and it's interesting like how all those little pieces paint the overall portrait for you. You know what I mean?
He was like a theater actor. Like he reminded me of that when he just like when he hears his like the little girl scream and he walks up and he calls after her. Like how he just stood there and he's like sticking his chest out almost. It reminded me of like theater.
I also love how like everybody comes and like hears her scream, but none of the help or nobody does anything. They wait for the husband to run. They're just all like, "What's going on?" Nobody actually.
Like we don't get paid enough for this.
Yeah, we don't get paid enough. Oh, we're going to go help her.
She became a big actress, didn't she? The little girl.
Yeah.
That's Camilla Bell. She was in the When the Stranger Calls, the remake. And she's been in a bunch of movies. Did you ever see that movie Push with Chris Evans?
Oh, yeah.
She's been in a lot of things. I will say, Steven, though, when you were talking earlier about in the third movie, the Alan, the raptor talking, what transition I hate worse than that, which it bugs the shit out of me, is in the second one when she screams and then you just see Ian Malcolm yawning.
Oh,
I hate that. I'm like,
I haven't even seen the movie in a long time, and I still remember that part.
Yeah.
My favorite part of that scene is that the singer of Creed is on the train, just going like, rah, rah.
Is that the singer from Creed? That is the most annoying scene in all the Jurassic Park movies because I'm like, I know those people, and they annoy the shit out of me.
No, he looks like a mix of like Scott Stapp from Creed, or
he really does. So when you said that, I was like, "Wait, is he really?"
Or what's his name from? He really reminds me of what's his name from The Breakfast Club.
Oh,
that's who he, yeah.
That's who he Judd Nelson.
Yeah, that's who he looks like to me. Yeah,
yeah,
guys. So as we just hit the 2 hour and 4 minute mark, and as we're getting closer to ending this awesome live stream, I did want to cover two quick things. First off, I wanted to go around real quick and just kind of like show off whatever Jurassic Park stuff you have. And the last thing I want to do after that is pretty much just rate. You could either choose the first 3 Jurassic Park movies, or you could choose the entire franchise. But I want you to pick your top 3 and like pretty much just picking your top 3. But let's start with because I know Chris, I know you had a few more things there to show off, right?
I just have my hand tattoos.
Oh, hold on, let me.
That's
sick.
it. Yeah, I got. So I have the claw on that side, and then I have the T-Rex on. I don't know how to show it properly.
Do you ever play with your dogs and just go like that, and you're like, oh?
No, I try. I wish it moved better.
GC, only you would say that.
You know, but it doesn't. And then I'm getting a little. Sometime soon, I'm gonna get a little Mr. DNA on here too.
That's sick.
Oh, that's awesome.
So ranking for me is actually pretty much in line. It would be Jurassic Park, The Lost World, Jurassic Park 3, but then it would be Fallen Kingdom, Jurassic World, and then Dominion. So it's almost in order, but that would be like my definitive ranking.
You know, for me, it would be the exact same ranking, except my first choice would be Jurassic World, The Lost World, and then Jurassic Park.
Oh,
for me,
I respect it. I love The Lost World, man.
Dude. And then as far as for little show and tells, I don't have anything as cool as you, man, but like I do have like my little original 3 Blu-ray box set, which
that's
is
nice.
dude, I love this thing. It's so nice, man. And it's like a nice little book.
Ooh.
And
is that the one where they're like in the paper? Oh, I hate that. I love the artwork on those, but I hate how they put discs like that.
Well, I'll tell you this, man. Like they actually come out super easy, which thank God, because when I got this, I think I got it for like $10, brand new, not too long ago.
Dude, you're making me want that. Like you're making me want that just to have like a display and like just leave it open because that's really cool.
Dude, wait,
I love that there.
Wait, did one of the discs fall out?
No, it was a little code thing.
I was like,
everything's falling apart.
GC, you said it was very secure.
But besides that, I have the original 2. I don't have the cool like little card, but it does come with
Ooh.
I think does mine come with that? I think mine also comes with a beak. No, it doesn't. I have a few that come with those.
And I have the original advertisement.
Fuck, dude.
And then check this out. I wonder if I should mail it in and see.
I was just about to say it's not too late.
Dude, look at that, man. Like this is so I always get so excited when I see stuff like this inside the VHS, because it's like, man, it really takes you back to like look at that,
dude,
with the jaws.
Oh, look at the logo too for Universal Studios. It's like throwback.
Dude, 1995 it expired, man. Look at with the toys.
Oh my god.
You're giving Chris anxiety right now.
Chris, I'm gonna have to send it to you, dude. I mean, I feel like
actually
I remember that game.
I'm having a panic attack right now.
Oh jeez.
Well, the last page here to really.
Oh, we're back.
But yeah, that's pretty much kind of like my my show and tell.
Very cool.
That's awesome, dude.
What about you, Steven?
Man, well, I'm rolling light here. Oops.
Dude, mint condition.
Yep. Just Old Faithful here. Oh, whoops.
In the protector, though. Mad respect. In the protector.
Listen, this is a movie that means too much to me to just have it, laying around.
And then what about your ranking for the movies?
So I haven't. I'll be honest. I haven't seen past Jurassic World. That's the 4th one, right, with Chris Pratt. I would say the first 2 are pretty on par with each other. Like that's something I could sit down and watch as like a double feature. Jurassic Park 3, I feel like is a tier down from it. Like I remember that was like the one movie I remember seeing in theaters. So there's a little bit of nostalgia there. I would say that that's probably next one down. But Jurassic World, that's a movie I've seen a couple times since then. I just don't think it's personally for myself. I don't think it's aged very well, and I don't know. I'm just not the biggest fan of Chris Pratt in the role, but
That's true.
that's just me.
And what about you, Brian? Do you have any goodies to show us? I know you got that awesome steelbook.
I just got one. Am I the only one who ended up getting this?
Yeah.
Is it the first 3?
Yeah, I'm gonna get the other ones just because that other video I did so well that I'm just gonna bite the bullet and get the other ones, just because I think it'll make a nice set with them. And now that I have an OLED TV, I can appreciate these a lot more than I did when I reviewed them. I don't see that big of a difference. Still, like, it's not night and day to me. But
what size did you go with for yours for your TV?
65.
Oh man.
I went from a 50, so I have a 55 in the bedroom, which is my old one, and then I have a 65 OLED out here, which I was very hesitant about because I was getting anxiety just trying to lift this thing by myself onto the stand. Like, I had to get help for that. 55 is like a good, like, I live by myself, I can handle it, I can move it. 65 scared me. I probably have more, but I got the Blu-rays. I've been upgrading. So I didn't keep all these. I think I have some more in my like donation box somewhere hidden. I got the rest because I didn't get rid of all of them. I think I maybe have given 1 or 2 to some people. So I got those. These are more my prides. The ones with the slips. I was determined to get all of them with the slips. And I got almost all of them. I'm just missing this one, which this one's easier to find. 1 was pretty hard, and 2 was kind of the hardest. But I'm really stoked to collect all these with the slips.
Hell yeah!
And then of course I got all 3 of the VHSs, even with the lenticular.
That's so damn cool, man.
Good.
Which I get why not many people have it, because this thing just kind of comes out on its own.
Mm-hmm. Am I the only one who got the Universal Essentials 4K? None of you guys have that?
No, I was gonna get that. Is that more the box one?
Yeah.
Like I was gonna get that until I decided to just go with all the slips.
Yeah, it does kind of bother me because I have all the rest with slips, but I don't have the first one because I have that box.
Yeah, I was gonna do that, and then I realized I want them all because I really like how all the spines they're all black and they all just line up, really cool.
Yeah.
I really like that. I hate when slip covers, like the first 5 will be one way, and then the 6 kind of like Mission Impossible. You know how the steelbooks, like the first 5 or 6 all match, and then once you get to 7, it throws the whole thing way off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So and they probably won't do that with the new one. So I'm going to end up getting the new one. And I'll end up, I know when I get it, I'll just get the slip version so I can match it with that.
Yeah.
I won't worry about, like, if it comes in a cool box set, cool, but I may just stick with the slip to go with that.
I know that they have on Bluray.com, they're listing re-releases of all of them as individuals. I'm curious of what they're going to look like.
Dude, if they do that, I would honestly buy all those and get rid of the steelbook, because I'm not the biggest fan of this art. I love the art on the inside. I think the art on the inside is fantastic.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
You know, you take the disc out and you have, here, I'll show you. I got Jurassic Park 2 in right now. But like,
wow.
Oh yeah.
You know, and it's just plain to me. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of steelbooks in general, but if they release them all individually with slips, I would sell this and get that instead.
Yeah, they're supposed to. They're listed for, I forget what the release date is. I'll have to find them and send them to you, but there's no art attached to them, like to the photos. So
they're gonna always release these, you know.
It's like,
especially if something doesn't have a Dolby Vision or Dolby Atmos, they'll find a new way to get sellers to be more interested in them.
Damn it.
So Brian, out of all the movies that you have there for Jurassic Park, how would you rank them? Like, what would be your like definitive order?
In order.
Really? You like them all in order? Like
in order. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I could see that.
They just,
Okay.
I mean, you can't beat the first. To me, you can't beat the first one. The first one is way too iconic, and I really like the second one. The third one's good. I like the characters in the third one. I like it more than I like Jurassic World, but it's not as good. It's not Spielberg. It's Joe. Isn't it Joe Johnson who did the third one?
Mhm.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. I like it, but the first two I think are the best two.
Mhm.
Dude. Well, with that being said, I mean, guys, we're gonna be wrapping up tonight's cinema rewind. I hope you guys enjoyed going back in time to the early '90s with us to the original Jurassic Park. Make sure to leave in the comments letting us know what your favorite Jurassic Park movies are. And we're gonna go around the horn and pretty much, guys, starting with Chris, let everybody know where they could find you, what you're working on, any last thoughts, tidbits.
Yeah, I mean, like I said in the beginning, you can find me on Instagram and YouTube under Bearded Film Guy. Actually, Steve and we both host a podcast called Beyond the Blood. We're kicking.
Go subscribe.
Yeah, go subscribe. It's available on all podcast platforms. We're kicking off season 2. So tomorrow we have an after hours episode. It's like our physical media episode coming out. And then the week after, we're going to be launching the YouTube channel with like the official season 2 kickoff, which was our summer campground slasher episode, where half the time we don't talk about summer campground slashers. And that was with Christian from Planet CHH and Garrett from Born to Be Rad. And then we lead right into Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We're going to be talking The Devil's Rejects with Brian. He's going to be coming back on the show. So a lot of exciting stuff in the works, man. This was like perfect. Thank you for letting me nerd out about Jurassic Park for 2 hours and 16 minutes. This was like a dream come true.
Dude, are you kidding? I definitely want to do, like, obviously for everybody here. I know Steven, Steven's been a regular here with this series, and it's been phenomenal having you here with me.
Oh,
and,
thanks, man.
Dude, the door's always open for you guys. Next Tuesday at 9, we're doing 28 Days Later. We're talking about the impact of that movie. And
I don't know if I can talk about that movie.
But I can't positively talk about that movie.
I can't positively talk about that movie.
Well, I do have another one the week after, which is a Tuesday around 9 o'clock as well, which is episode 7. And we're going to be leading up to I Know What You Did Last Summer. So if you guys want to be on that one.
You could maybe give me an excuse to buy that 4K again. And I Know What You Did Last Summer.
You're getting that steelbook?
I'm debating because I want the steelbook, but I want them together. And
yeah,
I don't want a steelbook and a standard. So I'm either going to get both standards or wait and see if they release the other one on a steelbook.
That's fair.
Wait, so you guys are going to talk about the trilogy? I Know What You Did Last Summer. I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, and then the third or fourth. I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Well, the focus is mainly on the first one, and we'll see how that goes and probably get into the second one.
We gotta have a whole segment of Jack Black smoking, Rasta Jack Black.
we might have to throw in some clips. We'll see.
Yeah,
we're gonna need some karaoke from you.
Yeah,
because there's some stuff I need here.
But you gotta give me some time to grow my dreads out, GC.
Dude, we'll wait till the next year to do it on the anniversary.
When they released the 5th movie in the franchise, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer again.
I'll never forget what you did last summer, and I still remember what you did last summer. But Steven, dude, where could they find you, man? I know you talked about the podcast already, and dude, let them know.
Yeah, you guys can find me at After Hours Video on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, you name it. And then obviously I'm a co-host with Chris on Beyond the Blood podcast. If you guys can hit it up, go subscribe. That would mean the world to us.
Dude, hell yeah. And dude, Brian.
Everything Last Movie Standing. Instagram, YouTube.
Only films.
I thought about doing that as a joke and calling it like boutiques and blow up dolls and just posting like criterions in sexual position or a blow up doll in sexual positions with her Criterion collection.
Oh boy, conversation for another day.
I just picture like whatever landing page picture is just Brian in the Jeff Goldblum pose with like covered in physical media, like All American Pie all around him. Like that would be amazing. That would be so
Hey,
fun.
hey, whatever I can do because I don't do the whole like affiliate links and all that. I'm like, whatever I can do for people to support the channel, just pay $5 a month and go to the page and get a laugh every now and then. I thought about it. I probably won't do it, but I do have like a 5-hour video coming, which is my whole part 2 of my entire collection, which is just my DVDs, which is literally taking me 3 days to film. Jeez. And it's already 4 hours long, and I'm only at H to Z.
I'm gonna watch it twice when it comes out.
Yeah,
just put it on in the morning. Just listen
plans.
to it. It's gonna be long as crap.
I hate Brian. I love your videos. You're so much. I can't put them on like in the background because I want to watch visually. So like I can't just put yours on and like do work. I actually watch. You know what I mean?
I need to see his reaction sometimes too, like when he's like saying something, and it's like just hilarious. I was like, I need to see his face when he delivers this because this is just great. But
thank you,
guys. And then as for me, if you're already a regular on here on the channel, you're at Face the Movies on YouTube, Instagram, X, formerly known as Twitter. More active on Instagram and YouTube. And I have a podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It's called Friday Night Fright Night. I should be releasing a new episode probably within the next 2 weeks. I'm going to be doing a little bit of a deep dive with my buddy Keith. We're going to be talking about As Above, So Below. So if you enjoy that type of stuff, make sure to check it out. I might be posting the video as well. So if whoever wants to watch it, you can. And dude, it's been an absolute treat, guys. I mean, being able to hang out with you guys. I talk to you guys on a regular basis, but again, like Chris said, to be able to nerd out on Jurassic Park, celebrate the movie coming out tomorrow, it's been an absolute like freaking blast. And dude, the turnout, like everybody seems to have such a good time in the comment section and watching. So looking forward to the next episode with you guys.
Absolutely.
And can I just say real fast, GC, because I know Chris kind of started this and it's kind of helped, have all of us step our games up with our Instagram photos. But was it your Jurassic Park 2 VHS one where you were in the grass?
Dude, that was in my. So Steven was asking me about that.
A good picture, bro.
Dude, so all my pictures on my Instagram, dude, I don't Photoshop anything. Like the most I'll do is maybe like enhance the exposure a little bit. But like I use my actual fridge. I emptied out the first shelf on the fridge to take the intruder picture. Same thing with the Jurassic Park. It was just in my backyard. I was out there kind of messing with the like angling it so where it was hitting it, but like the sun was hitting it, but not too much. And just doing stuff like that, man. Like it's really been like you taught me, Brian. I mean, with video stuff, dude, from the very beginning, like the lighting. Like that's
lighting's everything. I struggle with lighting for like Instagram pictures. I'm like every time I do this now, and I think of you, Chris, which is no homo. But every time I see like I'm like laying in bed and I see like the light shaft of the windows, I'm like, damn, I wish I had a table and a plant right now, like and I would just take a photo of a movie because the light's hitting this perfect. But I'm too lazy to get up and take a picture.
I see a plant at like Lowe's or Home Depot, and I'm just like, it reminds me of him. Like everywhere I go.
I get comments from people about plants, and I'm like, I don't even know who you are.
Dude, what kind of plant is that?
Awesome.
You're like, I don't know.
And it's like funny because it's literally been the same 2 plants that I've been using since day one. I just find new ways to shoot around them.
They've survived for so many years and so many videos, so many pictures. But guys, if you enjoyed this, make sure to comment, subscribe, like. Make sure to do the same thing for all these guys. I mean, they're amazing. And I mean, I honestly, like, I have to, like, if I was to rank all of us, like, you guys, like, I mean, I look up to your work so much, enjoy it. And every once in a while, I'm always getting ideas and getting creative sparks just from watching you guys, listening to you guys. And yeah, make sure to go show them some love. And dude, again, thank you guys so much. I hope everybody has an awesome night. And yeah, we'll see you on the next episode.
Catch you guys in the next one.
Later, guys.
Later, guys.